time.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberin time. Clobberonimo.
Come get some.
It's clobberin' time! Clobberonimo!
The word is given.
The word is given. Greetings, my friends. Clobberas. Clobberonimos. Clobberuskis. Clobberoids. Clobberians. Whatever kind of clob you are. If you do clob, then you already know that the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Welcome to Monday Night Mark C. Comic Talk, everybody. Hey. Your host, Clobby, here for another Superman night, Superman month edition, rather, of Clobber Times, Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk. And it is, of course, it is issue number 442, which is 1,000. That's on YouTube, of course. It's 1,442 overall. And so we're going to have some random Superman comic reviews tonight. And no doubt, other Superman topics. And other Superman things planned. Sorry, finishing up something here to talk about. Good to see you, my dear friends. Let me do some. Oh man, I'm having some trouble with my microphone. Huh? Hope you're all hearing me okay. Let's see here. All right, now. First of all, show notes and shout outs. Want to thank the great J-Man for having me over on his channel tonight, as always, with he and Sean. Had a fantastic time doing our usual Legion of Superheroes review. Lots of fun. We're just really, really, really enjoying that. Love it. Just as last night, I had a great time with our great chief engineer, the extraordinary Mark D with AC. It was tons of fun hanging out last night on his Sunday Night Geekery. Big shout out to Dad Man. I don't know if he's hearing me right now, but I hope Dad Man's wonderful mother, she seems to be doing better from what he's saying. I hope that is true and hope she continues on the path to getting better. He did pop in for a little while. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Tex. Appreciate it. That reminds me of the man. That's right out of the past. Your sound check there, brother. Appreciate that. So let's see. But anyway, more show notes. Let's see. Tuesdays and Thursday nights, of course. As always, I'm always over on the great Midnight's Edge After Dark, 6 p.m. Central. The extraordinary Tom Croners and that amazing crew over there. That one of the biggest channels there is in the geekdom, in the Geekverse. Midnight's Edge After Dark, geeking out with those fellers. and ladies. Tomorrow night, in addition to that, I might be, every now and then I stop on my good buddy Nick Weiser's Toxic Tuesdays when I can make it. Of course, I always recommend, if you love movies and TV and things like that, to stop by over there. They do great movies over there. That my good buddy Nick and Mark D and the great gang over there. Tomorrow night, their Toxic Tuesday movie is Flash Gordon, the Sam J. Jones one, 1980, and I think I may be joining them for that. Been a while since I've joined them, so I might be doing that. Of course, Wednesday night, I don't think we're having a Rokeley's Roundtable Wednesday night, but I will be here, of course, for Wild Card Wednesday. Basically, I don't know if I have a topic for that yet. It may just be open Superman talk. We shall see. I do know that we will have our usual Clobby's Clubhouse on Thursday night. All four of my shows on this channel, by the way, are 9 p.m. Central. We'll do this, our usual Blake 7 review and stuff like that. But a week from this day, Thursday, February 29th, we don't get very many February 29th, of course, as you know, once every 4 years, whatever. That is, of course, Superman's birthday. I'll have 2 shows that day. In the daytime, around, I think, maybe 3 Central, I will have the big Superman birthday bash. And then later, of course, that night, the regular Clubhouse. But before that happens, I'll be on J-Man's great channel, as always, on every Friday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, for Fearless Fridays with J-Man and Sean, as we continue our ongoing reviews of Frank Miller's classic Daredevil run. Having a great time with that. Then I should be back over with the Nick Weiser's channel, my buddy Nick Weiser, with the Friday Night Comic Shop Boys, 8:30 Central. And then, of course, back here again on Saturday night for Saturday Night Star Trek. 4 more episodes of Star Trek Voyager and Voyager and sorry, everybody, microphone problem and a coughing, sneezing fit. I want to thank everybody that was here Saturday night. What a fantastic blast we had hanging out with all of you. You're too kind. What a great group. And it was just amazing. So now that's the show. That's the show notes. Now for the shout outs, folks. Of course, our wrenches, whether they're here or not, get the shout out. Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher. Chris Persia, Vindicated Wrench of the Great White North. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Lord Thoth, God of Wrenching, and his wonderful Lady Thoth. Avon lives, long live the Legion, my friend. The aforementioned great J-Man, my partner in crime on Earth B, Legionnaire extraordinaire. Maddie's daddy, Thor in Vegas, builder of Wrench Bionion. Stephen Cal-El, buddy, Super Wrench. The rascally wrench himself, fans are outside here. Fanty. Hungry Boy, master of the Clobberin. Clobberin Time's own music. Mustard, master of limits himself, Maximum Redstone. And of course, our triple Bullwinkle wrench, Larry. And now let me back up the chat and shout you all out proper. That's how we roll up in here on every night. Every night. We'd like to get you all shouted out. Let's see. FKHC, what's up, Tim? Good to see you, buddy. Me and my monkey. Hey. Welcome. Greetings. Penny. Good to see you, Penny. Hope you're doing well, my dear. Stuart Mitchell, what's up, bro? LDG, free the net. Hey. Welcome. Let's see who else. Brian Hepburn, what's up, my friend? Claude Saling, all right, my friend. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. The great 1701 Tex, bro. Hope you're having a great night, buddy. Good to see you, man. Does my heart good to see you pop in, buddy. You know that. Hope I see you soon, man. DJ Play Nice, greetings. Jack's Mama. Oh my goodness. Everyone put an M in the chat if you would to commemorate our long lost beloved friend Mark C, who this show is named after. If you would. and you know, in honor of him and as a shout out to our wonderful Jack's Mama, who is related to, you know. So it's good to see you, Jack's Mama. I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Price of Reason. Hey there. Good to see you. Dave C. Let's see. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Who else is Adrian James? Hey. And that's everyone so far. In the yard, not too far from the car. Yeah. So tonight, well, it's Monday night Mark C Comics Talk, so it's going to be Comic Talk, of course. And it's Superman month, so hey, last week we reviewed a Superman comic, the Alan Moore masterpiece, Superman Annual number 11, for the man who has everything. Tonight, I just thought I would make it more random. You know, a couple of comics that I've never reviewed here that are Superman comics. The first one up, we have another Alan Moore issue, of course. We have two comics tonight. But the first one up is actually a comic book from 1972 that made national news. I don't know if any of you knew about this. I'm sure some of you have heard of this. It's a classic. It's certainly a legendary story in comics because again, it got a lot of coverage, and you know, I don't know. I mean, and I guess it's just for relevance. But it's pretty interesting. And we'll review a couple comics and we'll just talk some super stuff. Panty said, had a question related to last week. How much cash do you think Batman gifted Superman for his birthday? I don't know, man. I think he probably gave him a couple million. Stuart says, I sound like I'm from New York. No, sir. I've only been there like once or twice. I'm about as far south as you can get from New York in the States, almost. I'm from southern Louisiana, actually. Yeah, but I think, Bruce probably slipped him a couple of million, said, hey, Clark, go have some fun with Lois. I hope he did. I mean, why wouldn't he, He's a gazillionaire. Bruce is no tightwad. Yeah. Let's see here. So let's do some reviews of some comic books, some Superman comics. Like I said, this is a point of interest. This is a comic book that got national attention for some reason. I mean, from ABC News, I believe, at least did a coverage on it. I can't exactly remember, but I think it was ABC News or something like that. Peter Jennings, or whomever it was, doing the news at the time. Or it was, I can't remember who it was now. But it was some news outlet at the time covered this. And the comic is called, well, this is, of course, Superman number 247. Yes, it's definitely a Jaws reference. In the yard, not too far from the car. So, here we go. These are when they were added. This was some of these 48 pagers that they started doing, so they could justify jacking the price up on these. Later, they went to 52. DC loves that number 52 for some reason, but right now they're 48ers. And The Amazing Adventures of Superman, number 247. For missing what? I didn't miss any. Did I miss a Jaws gag? No, I made the Jaws joke. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Tex. What? What? I still don't know what you're talking about. In the yard, not too far from the car. I'm the one who said it. That was a Jaws joke that I made. So slap yourself for missing that, bro. What did I miss? Now I'm confused. I mean, I try to watch the chat as much as I can, but I'm the one who said the joke. So how could I possibly be the one who missed it? You sound like you're from New York. Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Okay. But yeah, I got it. I was already quoting Jaws. So why wouldn't I get that? I love that. I've seen the movie a million times. So, I guess you think I missed that. Somehow my answer indicated to you that I missed the reference about you sound like you're from New York. Oh, I got you. Well, no. Anyway, let's get to the review here. So, I see why you would think that, I guess. Oh, crap. Damn computer. All right. Oops. Okay. All right. So, Matthew Pounder. I'm confused. And so's the TARDIS. Yeah. So was the TARDIS. Yes. It sounded like you're quoting Shada right there. Hey, your Muslim uncle. What's up? A member chat from your Muslim uncle. Member for 16 months. Thank you. Says, hail, Clobby and Clobberers. Hail to you. Peace be on you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, I got distracted. This thing's. Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm having some issues with my microphone. I got to figure out a better way to fix this. I mean, it's about to fall off of the arm thingy that I have it hanging on. It's just such a screwed up. This microphone we bought, the mount thingy, doesn't fit the size of my desk. There's no way. I mean, I had to rig it up a couple of years ago when I finally got it, and sometimes it's really fragile and it falls all over the place. It drives me crazy. First world freaking problems. All right. So let me get on this here. The Amazing Adventures of Superman. Number 247. We, the Guardians of the Universe, find Superman of Earth guilty. Guilty of crimes against humanity. A very overly dramatic cover. Extra introducing a new series, The Private Life of Clark Kent Special, a Superman of Tomorrow classic. So there are 2 new stories in this and 1 reprint. Hey, Professor R2. Oh, well, thanks. I will. Are you on TwitTwat? I think you are. Okay. I'll have to twit at you. All right. So where were I? Oh, Larry. Thank you, buddy. He's gifted. Listen. I mean, he's gifted. No, sorry. He's member chatted. Thank you, Larry. He says, member for 16 months. Thank you so much for being a member for 16 months, Larry. Larry says, hail and hello, Clobby and the chat, Clobberanimos. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being a member and all that you do. We appreciate you. I think this also shows how Tomari failed to save Krypton as well. Not this one. It's not in this issue, but I know what you're talking about, Fanty. I remember that, by the way. Anyway, So the story talks about how now you can finish high school at home. Oh, sorry, that's just the ad. You thought this issue was gonna be on high school, didn't you? All right. Great art. First of all, story by Elliot S. Magan. Art by a gentleman who had a birthday. Would have been a birthday last week. The great Kurt Douglas Swan. Kurt Swan. And of course, Murphy Anderson. This is the Swanderson team. Edited by the great Julius Schwartz. Basically, this is a tale of power, of greatness, of the mighty Superman. The powers vested in ourselves, because that's basically your powers come from you. In this tribunal, as the guardians of the universe, we find you, Superman of Earth, guilty of crimes against humanity. You already said that on the cover, motherfucker. You stand so proud, Superman, in your strength. Wait a minute, what did he say? What did the Guardians say? Oh, I think they said this.
Superman.
Yes. All right, I can't help it. I love that clip. Sue me. And again, this story, let's see. Strength and power with a pride that is you stand before. But as all men of power, you must eventually question yourself and your use of that power, and ask, must there be a Superman? So the Guardians have called Supes to ask him to take care of this gigantic spore pod thingy bursting into our galaxy. The Green Lanterns can't handle it. You'd think the Owens would have had enough power in their bigger power batteries to handle this sort of thing, but no, they were doing this I think they were doing this so they could get Superman's attention. And so he says, there it is, just as the Guardian said, a pod full of spores bursting into our galaxy. It will upset the galactic balance of nature. I don't know why. Because you got to understand, the writers back then, they were more interested in their silly environmental, like alarmism, than stories. Sometimes it made sense. Galactic balance of nature, if it is allowed to grow in our universe, I must blast it out of here. That part makes sense because it's science fiction-y, comic booky stuff. It's going to be rough. This part of the galaxy is full of red stars, like the star sun of my native Krypton. I can already feel my powers weakening under their influence, but I could still whip up enough speed and force to deflect the pod. Didn't even budge. Okay, so here's one of the things I loved about this era of Superman. This is real deal soup stuff right here. 257. Gotcha, Fanty. We'll take a look at that. I mean, I need to reread that one, actually. But yeah, no, that's exactly right, Matthew. They needed him because it got yellow properties. That's true. But I'm just saying, I think they still could have found a way around it. But I think they wanted to use Superman. I mean, they're trying to tell him something. But yes, their deal was it's the yellow. You're right. I just read this story today, so I mean, I've read it before, but I hadn't read this in years. So where sheer strength failed to work, hopefully super wits will succeed as the Man of Steel. All right. Stop myself right there. This is so great because this is Superman using his powers and being a genius at the same time. Not just, people always say, Batman's smarter and everyone else is smarter. Superman is unbelievably intelligent, and he's a genius, and he always finds clever ways to do things with his powers. Unlike idiot Neanderthal fools like Hack Snyder and other people like that who just want to see him punch shit, Superman comes up with very Star Trek type solutions to things sometimes, very scientific. I mean, yes, okay, it's a comic book and all, but still, he's thinking. He's and kids, when we would read these comics, it was so cool because he was teaching us. He was talking about meteors, the density of the small planet. He's basically he's creating. Superman went and got a bunch of meteors and started putting them together to create a big enough, a big man-made world, big enough, through a crowded solar system that captures an atmosphere of nitrogen and rare gases. But he's trying to create a big enough mass to draw the planetoid towards it, to orbit around it. And it would follow the mass. The new planet streaks into orbit around an old star, a peaceful consciousness envelops. He basically created a planet to get this thing from heading into our galaxy. So, I love it. You gotta love that when you're a kid, man. I mean, it's so much. This is when thought. Yeah, there was comics. People thought they were so goofy or silly back then. Thought went into comics back then, and thought went into the character of Superman. So unlike Man of Steel, he just doesn't fly into a populated area and start swinging. Exactly, Kal-El. Another good point, Matthew Pounder. Burns suit wasn't intelligent. No, he wasn't. I just forced myself to reread a Burns story. Again, I hate Burns Superman. And I read one last night. I was rereading one like Superman talks and acts like an idiot in this comic. In this, he's brilliant. And he's not just an ignorant punk, an ignorant thug like John Byrne wrote him. And he did. I'll go against anybody on the Byrne Superman. You love it, fine. Hey, look, no judgment of you. We don't agree. But look at some of the writing, the way he wrote Superman. Now, Fanty, don't be a weenie head. I never said thought went into Bob Haney. You don't have to qualify some of them, because that means you're assuming I said all of them. Although more thought went into a Bob Haney story than a Byrne one, but nah, I'm kidding. Bob Haney's not defensible, but come on. You were the one putting words in my mouth saying that I'm saying Bob Haney or all of them. I'm not saying all of them. But Elliot Maggin was a pretty decent Superman writer. Cary Bates was crazy, did some crazy stuff, but in a fun way. Fanty. Oh, Fanty. Anyway, Superman was pretty much injured. Kat Matui, Green Lantern of Koregar, place the Kryptonian on the solidified light beams and then depart. So, the Guardians, race of immortals whose self-appointed task is to survey and safeguard the 100 billion stars of the Milky Way galaxy. Wait a minute, they're called the Guardians of the Universe. Elliot, not of the galaxy, the universe. But anyway, that's a nitpick. Ravenscroft, hey there. Yes, Bates was he was a plot twister. Steven said, he says, Phantom Outsider, some thought must have gone into Haney's comic stories. We just don't know what he was on when he wrote them. Yeah, craziness went in there. No, but Fanty's not wrong. I mean, Bob Haney, I guess he's Fanty's such a nitpicker that because I didn't mention Bob Haney, somehow he wanted to make sure he got mentioned. I mean, yeah, okay, sure, Bob. I'll take a Bob Haney story over this new crap any day. At least they're funny and fun and insane. There's that. All right. Now, Kal-El's in our midst. We have decided to implant in his subconscious the notion that his influence on Earth is interfering with human progress. Let the operation begin. So the Guardians now again, here's what's kind of curious to me. The Guardians run the Green Lanterns. Why are they getting involved with Superman? The story was always kind of puzzling to me. Because the Green Lanterns, Superman does basically what the Green Lanterns do, but they thought maybe Superman's getting too involved. and they're not entirely wrong. Hey, Chris Persia. Yo, bro. What's up? Fanny says, I'm joking. No, you're not. You're not joking. You never joke. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking at you. We're mutually joking, Fanty. You're cool. All right. So anyway. They decide to give Superman the tour. And what do they bring him first? To an ad for grueling obstacle runs. Look at this. Look at these ads. I love these ads. I love when these scans are not of trade paperbacks or hardcovers, but old comic books like this. So we get to see the ads. I bet Fanty bought these toys, Supersonic Power. Because he's younger than me. There we go. Right now. Right advertisers direct for information. Be taller. If you could grow 2 to 6 inches taller in 1 month, would you spend 25 cents to discover how? Yes, you would. Fantastic new method of growing taller. Quick, safe, and permanent. No exercise, no appliances, drugs, or elevators. How to be taller. Look at that. It's totally on the level. All right, now, Fanty, if you're there, tell me you didn't try that out. Okay. Me go. Well, I'm with you there. So tell me you didn't write to this ad to be taller. Chris Persia says, Clobby, I hear that Stan Lee invented the first ad and sold an idea to DC Comics. That's right. He said, hey, we should put ad in DC Comics and mine. Yep. Like Radar had elevator shoes. So here you go. You've got the these ads, man. Oh God, I love these ads. Holy shit. Okay. Comic books for sale. Comics from golden age to present. Waggle. Free samples, stamps for free, coins, so surely you must realize that your presence on Earth directly contributes to the Terran's cultural lag. Cultural lag? I still don't understand, says Superman. They're whispering, knowing he has super hearing right here. Perhaps we should not confront the Kryptonian with such concepts. Remember that unlike him, the Guardian's influence on planetary culture is indirect. Agreed. I shall discontinue the subject. I hope Kal-El hasn't overheard us with his super hearing. Jesus, Elliot. Says, nope, I was trying to find Pym particles. If I was going to be taller, I was going to be a lot taller. That's fair. That's fair enough. Sea monkeys, indeed. It is forbidden for you to interfere in human history. All right. So they all know he overheard them. Man, it's so silly. Direct cause of cultural lag. In this sphere is stored the complete history of the galaxy. Superman. And there was that time when this happened.
Superman.
And then this happened.
Superman.
And also, don't let that happen to you. So anyway, perhaps some recent history, such as the time you visited the planet Calyarda with the Justice League of America. Fine. Note that was the Justice League number 86. See again, hear again. Your warning to the Kalyarnians, sorry. Now that you're here, Superman, you can save our planet. You've missed the point. You'll never solve the problem by handing it off to someone else. What are you, I'm going to say it. My colleagues and I will restore your sea's ecology, but whatever we do can only be temporary. You must each face your own problems, redo your thinking, but how and why you pollute your planet. Anyway, as we must do on Earth, of course. Had to get that in there, baby. I guess that's why this thing made the news, right? So anyway, he shakes hands with, I guess that's Ganthet. I don't know, it's one of the Guardians. Our plan is progressing. His behavior pattern indicates that our planted idea is beginning to grow in his mind. He and his adopted planet will soon be the better for it. Wow, the Guardians are dicks. But we all knew that, didn't we? You know, I almost think they used to draw feet on the Guardians of Oa, unlike today. Well, let's see. Yes, they did. Yeah. Well, Kurt Swan's great. He could draw anything. I got you, Chris. I know what you're saying. So, you're right, though. Yeah. Whoever said that was about the feet. Yes, Chris. You're right. So, Stoops flies back to Earth and questioning himself: am I as much a disturbing force on Earth's natural progress as those spores would have been on the entire galaxy? No, you're not, Superman. No, you're not. By the way, for years I've been playing Big Brother to the human race. Have I been wrong? Are they depending on me too much, too often? Thus, it is a confused Superman who power dives to Earth over Central California. Yeah, maybe I have been interfering unnecessarily. I decide what's right or wrong and then enforce my decision by brute strength. Furthermore, So he lands upon this coinky-dink situation here. Hey, Dave, say, oh, Dave, see you. I forgot you were here. You were here. Hello again, by the way, Dave C. Well, remember the Owens did bring evil into the universe. Yeah, they did. Who are they to lecture anyone? Of course, Soups doesn't know that at this point. True, that's a good point there, Fanty. Good point indeed, sir. The Owens are a bunch of troublemakers. So he runs across this jackass smacking the kid around these pickers. Let's see. You won't pick any peaches? Hey, this will change your mind. Slap. Please, Senor Hardy, stop. Oh, won't someone help me? So he's how convenient. Superman just happens to pop up, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, Superman shows up when you're getting smacked around by some jerkwall. So, smacking this kid around, Superman says, "Get off! Keep your hands off that kid." And they're all the crowd's like, "Let him have it, Superman. Give it to him. Good, Superman. Don't interfere. I have my rights. Whatever." Though we had all agreed to strike, everyone but me. Everyone but me went back to work when Senior Harley warned he'd fire us. In other words, the kid was trying to have a strike, and the adults said they would do it, but then the guy says, "I'm going to fire you all." So all the adults crumbled like crackers, like a bunch of sissies, and refused to strike. So the guy says, "You saw Harley beating up Manuel, Superman, mash him." And like Superman says, "You fellows were here. Why didn't you handle it?" And as for you, Mr. Harley, the law will let go of me or I'll have you arrested. I am boss here. I know my legal rights. Don't listen to that pig, Superman. Throw him in jail. Show Harley who's real boss here. Cut that kind of talk. You're all pretty brave now that I'm here. Good stuff, yeah. No shite. Listen, man, well, I want to find out what's going on from these hotheads. Tell me your story and your problem. So, Senor Superman, I come from Mexico as my father lay dying. He told me to come here to the USA for a better life. Circa 1972, no less. And it sets Superman's memories about the death of his earthly father and the death of his Kryptonian father. And Jor-El, again, you could tell this comic was set up. Hey, Captain Finity. Someone was denying my law. How dare them? Damn them. I shall destroy them all. Hey, what's up, dude? Good to see you. So anyway, flashing memories that only momentarily interrupt. So we got things like here that, I mean, I don't know, maybe they knew they were going to get some kind of attention for this thing. Because like I said, for those just coming in early, this comic in 1972 got some press. It got national press. Largely unheard of for a comic book on the stands at that time. And I'm not even sure, 100% sure why, really. Other than at the time it was dealing in controversial topic. It was not too many years removed from Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams' Hard Traveling Heroes. It had that kind of a vibe to it. And the backup story was written by O'Neil, but this is by Elliot Mag. And anyway, so you have these panels talking a little bit about Superman's background again. And then his memories flash momentarily interrupt the Man of Steel, but there is work to be done. So the kid brings Superman to meet his mom. They're all talking. And again, they're all out there, trying to talk him into rebuilding all their houses. And he says, basically, my house needs a new roof. You need to build me a new one. They're all telling Superman to build it. He says, well, you're going to start, Superman? He says, right now. And what I'm going to do is nothing at all. Whatever help you claim you need must come from yourselves. Now, before it continues, what's interesting here is, for me, Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams' Hard Traveling Heroes was really crazy hippie stuff where they were blaming everything. It was all entitlement crap. It's great art. Fantastic art by Neil Adams. The story was really pretty much hippie, long hair stuff, and it got a lot of attention. It got ink outside of the comics mainstream and what have you. Well, it seems like the message here is different. Superman's trying to teach these people to be self-sufficient. Say, look, I'm not going to build all this crap for you. You need to do it. You need to do things on your own if you're going to come to this country. Pretty interesting for 1972. And Elliot Magan this guy was a flaming lefty, but I mean, still, even some of them had understood certain principles. And he sees a bunch of birds messing around. Just so happens that they're on the San Andreas Fault. So there's an earthquake. This grove is close to the San Andreas Fault, California's earthquake belt. Not even Superman can stop an earthquake, but he might blunt it, thinks him to himself. So Superman flies into the underground, opposite directions as the earth moves. They keep stretching, and they can stretch no more. They break, and the earth quakes. Superman goes down into the earth. He could ease the tension below the surface by smoothing the walls of this fissure. The quake should subside more easily. Basically, Superman just got through creating a planet. It was great to get rid of those spores. And then now in this one, he is stopping an earthquake. This is what Superman does. And he does it, again, he does it with thought and intelligence. It's so amazing that people don't understand that about Superman. The Superman is brilliant. So Stoops finishes up the hurricane. Then, as Superman bursts out of the Earth's crust, Senor Superman, our houses, they have all fallen down. Will you put them up again? Again? See? How can I tell them? How can I tell them now that they must be self-sufficient? He thinks to himself. So, when I have to rebuild their homes for them. So, Viva Superman! He goes and builds their houses. Our new homes, gracias. Come back here, all of you, Superman says after he builds the houses for these people. And I was saying something before the noise started, and this time you're going to listen. Come hell or another earthquake. Superman, you have stopped an earthquake, rebuilt our homes. There is more. There is more you want to do. There's more you want to do for us. Let's get something straight. Sure, I rebuilt your homes, but that was because an earthquake is something you can handle, something you can't safeguard yourselves against. But you must not count on Superman to patch up your lives every time you have a crisis or disaster. Young Manuel here has the right idea. When the rest of you backed down to Harley, Manuel refused to knuckle under. You don't need a Superman. What you really need is a super will to be guardians of your own destiny. Now I've got work to do of my own. I work of my own to do, I should say. Sob, you leaving already, Superman? Yes, Manuel. But we'll keep in touch. You can reach me at the Galaxy Broadcasting in Metropolis. Will you do that? See, yes, I promise. So you sounded good back there, Superman, but did you really believe all that big talk? Then how come our mind is light years away as you instinctively rush towards a new emergency? Are you having a second thoughts about a planet you never really could imagine taking care of itself without you? Bulletin: Pleasure cruiser endangered by waterspout in mid-Atlantic. So Superman heads out to deal with that, and the Guardians say Kal-El is troubled somewhat by the idea that never crossed his mind before. The fact that people of Earth must progress unaided by outsiders from other worlds. Then our task is done. We must let time take its course. Here comes Superman to save us, says the people on the boat. And that's that story. Self-responsibility. Gen Z needs this. Yes, exactly. Pretty good message considering this by a bunch of long hairs in the 70s. I'll give them that. But that's why this comic book, for some reason, got some national press. It got some ink. It got some airwaves by ABC News, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was. Yeah. In 1972, that's a strange thing for a comic book. I guess because of the questions, must there be a Superman? I think some people even put some of those old videos, news from the news programs on YouTube somewhere, if I remember right, saw them years ago. And so the book also has a couple of other stories. This was another new one, not a reprint here. It's the very first segment of The Private Life of Clark Kent. And it's by the original hippie, Denny O'Neil. Art by C. Douglas Swan. Yes, Kurt Douglas Swan. That's his name. And M, as in Murphy, Clyde Anderson, the Swanderson team, edited by Julius Schwartz. When on Earth is the story? And interestingly enough, they must have been a twofer because this story is very similar. It's just about this WGBS receptionist who's kind of snotty to Clark Kent, but turns out because he's talking about how the crime waves amongst youngsters, and she's being snotty to him, but she tells him why, and her younger brother's in trouble, and all this kind of trouble with with crime, getting to get with a gang and stuff. Remember, this is 1972, folks, so you can only do so much in a comic book. And so Clark and Jimmy decide they want to help him. And there's this weird scene in here because Denny O'Neil was a big pipe smoker. So he's got a scene at 344 Clinton. That is, of course, Clark Kent's apartment, Or I don't know why for no reason. The scene's weird. It's like, the streets are quiet, no call for Superman. It gives me a chance to experiment. For years, I've wondered what people born on Earth see in tobacco. I don't get it. Why fill your body with fumes from a weed? Maybe there's a thrill I've been missing. So he's going to try a pipe. Superman's going to try a pipe for some reason. By the way, an ad for special announcement for 2 magazines. 50 cents a pop, black and white magazines by the great Jack Kirby, the king of comics. Kirby fans, in the days of the mob and spirit world. Bum, bum, bum. Great stuff. So, yeah, great ad. So, anyway, for some reason, Clark Kent wants to smile. I mean, it was so weird to see. I remember back when I first read this story, I'm like, I don't get, what the hell? Why is he even doing this? And that's not relevant. It's not even relevant to this little short story. So Superman, Clark Kent, lights up a pipe, smokes a pipe, tastes like a garbage dump. If I had human lungs, they'd be curdled. There are some things I guess I'll never comprehend. And he throws it in the garbage. And then I guess I just needed to fill up some panels. It is called The Private Life of Clark Kent. Hail to the king, baby, indeed. RRTNZ, good to see you, buddy. So anyway, so meanwhile, Jimmy shows up and he's just had his ass kicked by a bunch of kids. They went for me like I was a set of drums and they were a bunch of Ringo Stars, he says. The younger brother and his pals of the young receptionist. So here's this interesting. He says, bad, Clark. I'm certain they're planning a war with a rival gang. Can't call the police. No proof. So it says, go home, Jimmy. Get some rest. I'll handle it from here. And this is where the comic takes sort of a left turn. No pun. There hasn't been a gang war in Metropolis for years. I thought that sort of insanity had gone out of style. No matter. Superman will stop it short. So, but should Superman interfere? This is a lot like the previous story by Magan. Or should I give plain Clark Kent a chance? I've never ever tried to stop trouble as an ordinary human being. In this small way, I'm not a part of my adopted world. The loneliness I sometimes feel may be partially my own fault. For a change, I'll play it people style. After all, when on Earth, do as the Earthmen do. So Clark Kent decides to go. This comic is called. Oh, good night, Tex. Thanks for being there, brother. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you, man. So he decides to strike out as Clark Kent, and he pays the cab. The guy says, you're a dumbass for taking a cab out here, but all right. Funny as so, and realize how dangerous everyday life is for normal men, thinks him to himself. How frightened they are, for good reason. So suddenly, a group of silent figures from the shadows. Dig this, another uptown snoop on our territory. He'll get the same as we gave the first one. So they're, sounds like they're referring to Jimmy Olsen. So only maybe we won't stop with just stopping this one. There'll be one killing tonight. Yeah, so why not 2? Wow, we're just telling them everything, aren't we? These they don't really dress like scary gang members, do they? Ravenscroft. Yes, smoking the pipe. That is different. That is something you don't see every day. And they don't see that. You can't do that. You can't even have any kind of smoking in modern comics at all. Not that I like smoking, but I'm just saying you can't do that. So the young toughs. Look, mister, get your butt out of here. Run. Forget you ever saw us. The resemblance is unmistakable. This kid is Bick, Amy's brother. I'm not the running type. Just like I'm sure you're not the killing type. Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that. He is like really clean cut and wearing a white normal shirt, dressed like a regular person. so I'm sure he's dangerous. What's with the Rumble action anyway? Haven't you guys heard that went out with the White Bucks? I don't know what the White Bucks means. That went out with White Bucks? I'm not sure what that means. All violence will buy is a broken head. Listen to him, will ya? Him and his $200 suit telling us where it's at. Fathead, I'll tell you what violence buys us: respect. RESPG, a feeling of being worth something. Yeah, worthless. Pardon me, but you're talking garbage, sir. Sure, I'm really Superman, but I can't tell you. But if I could fry your ass with a heat vision right now, but I won't. I didn't really say that. I thought it. Did I say that loud? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really Superman. Sure, your lives don't mean crap to me because you're a bunch of punks. Are you? Your lives are tough enough. Blah blah blah. Boy, they got the Denny O'Neil preaching down. Boy, they're moralizing their ass off in this issue. Jeez, you've gotten the short end of the stick. Bullshit. You're alive, young, and that means there's hope. You, Bick, your sister Amy is working her fingers off, working so you can climb out of this muck. How will she feel if you show your manhood by? Oh, that's well, you know what I mean. You know, I didn't mean it that way. Geez, don't put it back. Senseless, brutal murder. Yeah, if you're gonna commit a murder, make it sensible and nice and you know, gentle. Keely Chow, roll that tide, buddy. Keely Chow has a member chat for 14 months as a member. Thanks. What comic book is this? This is Superman number 247 from 1972. White suede shoes. Thank you, Chris. I was lost on that one. So anyway, they hit him on the head. He has to pretend it hurts him. Blah, 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 blah. And this kid finally decides, I'm not going to kill today. He says it just like Kirk. I'm not going to kill today. Anyway. So Clark talks him out of it. The kid runs off. All these guys run off so they think they're basically like, maybe he made some sense. Yeah, let's just go do something else. We're not. It's so weak and so like the square was giving it straight. We need to fight. We should fight the mess we're born into. My sister Amy, she's hacking it. So can I. So can all of us. No, the opposite. It'd be chicken. And he says, "You're chicken, man." No, it'd be opposite. It'd be chicken to shoot like you want me to, without giving him a chance. And what would it prove? Nothing. Nothing. Vic may have something. I'm gonna go have a long think. Me too. You okay, mister? I'm fine, son. But I've proven something to myself tonight. There are times when not even Superman needs violence. Okay. Okay, Denny. Wow, you're a lot less subtle than Alien, I think. But hey, don't worry. Now we can order some. We've seen this ad in a lot of these comics lately. Monster-sized monsters. I like that they're monster-sized monsters. 7 feet tall. I bet Larry has those. Larry, do you have those? Did you order those, buddy? And more stuff. Some more ads. It's a jackpot bank. Miniature secret camera. I bet that works fantastic. $1. Joy buzzer. Boy, I remember those things. Yes, sir. Metropolis mailbag. I like this letter writer's name. You think this is a fake name? James T. McCoy Jr. Just saying. Might not be fake. It might not be fake. Yeah, you know. So anyway, Metropolis mailbag. So anyway, there you go. Then there's a story. This is an old Edmund Hamilton story from Action Comics 338 from 1966. This is a reprint. It's by Kurt Swan and George Klein. Great art by them, but one of those future soupy stories that I didn't really, it's been a long time since I bothered reading this one. But anyway, it wasn't the point of tonight's review. So I have another to review as well. That gang looked about as dangerous as one from a Broadway musical. They did. Not a very convincing, dangerous gang. Just saying, Denny. Wow. So, yeah. But it wasn't interesting. Just I thought it would be something interesting to cover because it was so. That front story really got. I guess it got covered in the news. It's amazing, just because there was social relevance in a comic book. I mean, there was some other comics that got a little bit of coverage as far as news interest stories and things like that. Didn't even, like I said, I think actually the Spider-Man drug story where they kept the comics code off, it was 90 something or other, where Gil Kane issues of Spider-Man, where they had the story about drugs, or drug abuse or whatever, and that was done in the late 60s, early 70s, I think it was for sure. And, hard traveling heroes, but usually comics didn't get a lot of national press. So, for my second review of the night, let me see. There you are. Alrighty then. Okay. Now, last week we did an Alan Moore comic, and this week my second comic is an Alan Moore comic. Because why not? And it is, because it's Superman month, it is a Superman story. All right, let's see. And it is DC Comics presents number 85. A classic. Pat S., what's up, buddy? Question before the review starts. Why? Feel free, my friend. Please ask away. No tea and maple yet, but I've seen those. You could find a lot of tea and maple letters are Ravenscroft. Yeah, oh yeah. I find them all the time. Ace Cast Iron. Dude, what's up, buddy? This is for you, sir.
Superman.
Memories, right, brother? So before I start the review, please ask your question, Pat S. How about the GA drugstore? Yeah, it got some write-ups for sure. Ravenscroft, I think that got attention, but along with the whole package of the Hard Traveling Heroes story by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, I believe it got a good bit of coverage. Yeah, obviously it's far more famous than the Superman story I just did, but that's still, at the time, like I said, it got ink. It got. I was waiting to start the review. Pat, did you say you have a question? What happened to you, dude? Ace Cast Iron, dude. A week from this Thursday, in the afternoon, a special afternoon show I'm doing. We're gonna, on the 29th. It's Superman's birthday. If you want to come hang with me, bud, you're more than welcome. Pat said, if you hit the Ollies on the North Shore or BR and see a Danger Mouse or Penfold action figure, can you please? Oh my good, are you kidding me? Please grab. I will grab it. I'll grab me one too. I would love to have one. Oh my God, dude, really? I love Danger Mouse. I mean Penfold. Oh crumbs. Oh crikey. Hello, Colonel. Oh my goodness, I love Danger Mouse. It's such a great show. He's the greatest. He's amazing. He's the greatest secret agent in the world. He's fantastic. He's terrific. He's the greatest. He's the best. He's the best. Danger Mouse. I love that show. If I see it, I will. I did not know Ollie's had anything like that. Ollie's gets some crazy stuff sometimes. And some good stuff. So there you go, buddy. So anyway, this was actually right around the same time, slightly before Alan Moore's last week. Carlos and I reviewed For the Man Who Has Everything from Superman Annual Number 11. This story by Alan Moore was, I think, his first though, or it was right around the same time, but a little bit before it, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's amazing. DC Comics presents number 85. Cover dated September of 85, so it's from like the summer of 1985. I'll remember it very well. I was buying DC Comics presents on and off sporadically. They didn't always have the greatest of art or whatever, but I was buying it at the time, of course. Of course. So, and it's approved by the Comics Code Authority. It was the 50th anniversary of DC Comics. National periodical publications. Superman and Swamp Thing. This, of course, still during very much during Alan Moore's legendary classic tenure on Swamp Thing, writing it, of course. The story is, of course, written by Alan Moore, pencils by Rick Veitch, and the inks by the great Al Williamson. So, starts off, you got a car driving down the interstate, and it says Interstate 55 bakes in the oven of noon, the horizon rippling and churning, and if viewed through boiling water. Now, Interstate 55, by the way, he's heading down to the swamp. Interstate 55 is nowhere near where. I know Alan Moore was British. The editor should have caught it. That's Interstate 55, folks, is a little more in the middle of the country, if I remember correct. So, no, I don't remember. I know for a fact it is. So it's not Interstate 55. It does run north to south, south to north. But Interstate 55 is it runs parallel to the Mississippi, somewhere around there. He needs Interstate 95 or 75 or something like that, but that's neither here nor there. Just saying, just nitpicking. Sorry. They often got crap like that wrong all the time. But he's riding down to the swamp where Swamp Thing is. So, he might be on 55 because he is going to Louisiana, so that's fine. In fact, I'm going to take it back. He wasn't heading towards Florida. At that point, Swamp Thing was in Louisiana, so he did it. They did a good job. I'm gonna let him have it. More of an I-10 or I-12 guy. No, 55 works. Because I forgot for a second. I was thinking Florida. That's my bad. It's 55. I'm going to commend DC Comics on that and retract my statements, even though DC Comics sucks generally. And they deserve all the hatred they receive. Anyway. So here you got a person driving this car. He's having hallucinations and seeing crazy crap. And we find out that this gentleman, I guess he looks familiar, right? The man of tomorrow is heading south to die. There's a Daily Planet on the page. There's a strange rock fungus thingy right next to him on his seat. Superman and Swamp Thing. Nice opening splash. Very interesting. The Jungle Line. Writer Alan Moore, penciler Rick Veitch, inker Al Williamson, letterer John Costanza, colorist Tajana Wood, editor the great legendary Julius Schwartz. The Schwartz man. And so we find, he's basically having crazy hallucinations while he's driving. We cut back to kind of see where this goes. Clark and Lana are at some kind of science demonstration of this at an Institute for Scientific Advancement thingy or whatever, and this professor is giving a demonstration or talking about this rock, an alien rock with kind of a tiny patch of fungus, and that has somehow survived the rigors of space. It isn't spectacularly big or colorful. It's a dullish red, and you need a microscope to examine it properly. However, this life form has survived decades, possibly centuries, in an absolute frigid vacuum. To science, this is unprecedented discovery. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Miss Lang, I believe, but Dr. Everett, is this really that important? After all, for over 20 years, we've had a living alien just as indestructible upon our planet. You're talking about Superman. Well, the difference is unlike the fungus, Superman could not be expected to lie still throughout what may be years of thorough research. And any other questions? And then this is Superman taking from Krypton. So, flashing back here, it's the Institute for Extraterrestrial Studies. And then he's starting to flash back even more. We have some more great Alan Moore poetry. Feigning dizziness. Clark's starting to feel bad. He researched through a memory vast enough to have every conceivable shape of snowflake precisely filed. And he remembered. Let's say that again. Again, only Alan Moore. No, Ravenscroft, remember, I took it back. They were on the right track. 55 works. Again, Alan Moore wrote this of Superman. I love it. Man, he was so good. He was so good back then. Feigning dizziness, he searched through a memory vast enough to have every conceivable shape of snowflake precisely filed. And he remembered. That's how brilliant Superman is. We're talking about that in the last story. Rimuel's Almanac of Old Krypton, page 417, entry 5308. Old Kryptonian name, Averell Ufthonis. Common name, blood moral. Native to the Scarlet Jungle, the blood moral is an unusual and dangerous fungus. Its preferred growth medium is blood. To this end, its microscopic spores permeate the skin and thrive within the bloodstream itself, causing fever, bouts of incapacitation, hallucinations, chronic and overexertion, and eventually, in 92% of all known cases, death. And Superman's got it. He's got a Kryptonian fungus. Good night, Penny. You have a wonderful night, dear. Take care. So Clark, goes home and starts realizing that he can't. His powers are failing him. Goes to work, goes home. Eventually, he's got to go somewhere, but he's considered flying, but he can't. His powers are failing him. He has to take the subway home, rather. He's having hallucinations all night, crazy stuff. His costume's talking to him. His clothes are talking to him. Yeah, Cal, you're dying. It isn't right that you should end up like this. You're a legend. You've got to fight it, Cal. With respect, Superman. I don't agree. This is Clark's clothes talking. Without your powers, you aren't anybody special. Death comes to everyone in the end. No exception. Lie back and accept it. Clark, how can you say that? He just shut up. His clothes are arguing with him. I love this shot. Again, it shows how great Moore is. He has this hallucination of his empty clothes arguing with him. And over the side, you see his Superman suit hanging next to his Clark suit. Merciful Rao, what's happening to me? The writing is just superb. But it's Moore. He was superb at writing. So his super hearing returned deafeningly while he was crossing 7th Avenue. Later, during coffee break, he knocked a cup from his desk and wasn't fast enough to catch it. There was only one option to him. Touchingly, Dr. Everett had given him the promised meteorite almost without question. He promised to return it if that was possible. So he takes the meteorite, Returning to his apartment, he began to examine it for clues to a possible antidote. After 20 minutes, his microscopic vision failed, and he was forced to stop. He understood that he was going to die, and the only question remained where. He wanted to be alone when it happened, but his fortress was too distant, and flying was unthinkable. Coast City, Central City, Star City. He eliminated Gotham, New York, Washington, D.C., all the other cities frequented by superhero community. Finally bought a second-hand car in a cash transaction under the name Cal Ellis. Taking the meteorite just in case. He made for the one place in America with no indigenous superhumans. He headed south. Yeah, because we didn't have no dang superheroes down here. And eventually he ran off the road. Lois, Kara, where is everybody? Am I the Scarlet Jungle? I'm in the Scarlet Jungle. So he falls down, and guess who finds him? Swampy. His clothing is charred and blackened. He has come through the fire. Even I once came through the fire. Was he inside the vehicle when I heard it explode? I wonder why he's not dead. I wonder who he is. Something really doesn't know who he is yet. And he goes inside his head, running from the death of your planet. You should have died on Krypton, Kal-El, as you were meant to. You know that, don't you? Now, after all these years of running, your destiny has finally caught up with you. Here, Kal-El, here in the Scarlet Jungle. Leave me alone. You're all dead. Extinct is the word, Kal-El. We're extinct like all Kryptonians. Come and join us. Take your place in the shade of these broad crimson leaves forever. His face is strangely familiar. Sleeping, he collapses the rock blip. Anyway, Swamp Thing examines the fungus. Concentrating, tries to establish contact with it. Red trees, red sun, too much gravity, too much sensation. Pull back away from it. Stone drops from his fingers, and the contact is broken. What happened? I touched it. It was like another world. It isn't from here at all. It's alien. Studying the man's face and haunting familiarity. I think that I know who he is. So anyway, he knows who Superman is. And Superman blasts him with heat vision. Yes. Ravenscroft, yes. Moore always just digs down to the core of the character. He's just amazing. So good. Again, very simple, basic story, but he really just grabs you with it. And on the other side of the clearing, but basically Swamp Thing is dealing with, getting, because he is Swamp Thing as a plant elemental, after all, we're dealing with a fungus. He goes into it. Swamp Thing breaks into the dream, breaks into the hallucination, trying to calm Superman down from within. Let's see. But he is unreachable, and there are no means of communication, no possibility of contact. Contact. And then the red sun shrivels, the red grass, the dead birds, the street with the voices. I am elsewhere with him. More phantoms. You can't keep me here. I escaped. The planet died, but I escaped. Don't you understand? I'm not like you. I'm not extinct. I'm alive. And Swampy says, you're dying. No. Please, you cannot destroy me. I am a friend. You must not exert yourself. You won't trick me that way. You won't give up. Blah, blah, blah. I won't give up. I go down fighting, because he's Superman, of course. He says, it's the fighting that's killing you. You are burning up from inside. The fever raging within you pushes you, weakened body beyond its limits. Yes. I remember. Chronic overexertion, eventually death. You must still, if you wish to survive. I can't. The fever, scarlet jungle fever. I'm so hot. Forget the scarlet and the heat. Touch my hand and let the inferno within you be extinguished. By cool darkness, by endless green. Swamp Thing helps him relax, helps him calm down. Break contact. The fever is leaving him. The storm is over. He has come through the night and the forest of the blood. You'll live. And then Superman wakes up. It's funny how Moore puts this. There is no pain looking beneath his skin. He can see no broken bones, no hostile organisms thriving within his blood. In Washington, a congressman's wife clears her throat and he hears it. In Harlem, a baby wakes up crying and he hears it. The fever and the weakness have passed. He is Superman. It's a great shot right there. He is Superman. I like how he just, again, this is classic. Moore adds a nice classic touch to it by him grabbing the rearview mirror of his wrecked car. He wonders about the rock had its cores from the exploded planet avoided the radiation belt that would have transformed it into kryptonite. Yep, it didn't hit the radiation belt. No matter. He knows that it cannot harm him now. He survived. Watching him, he shaves. He uses his heat vision to shave with the mirror, which I love that touch. Nice touch by Moore. Launching himself upwards, the half-remembered fever dreams of the night before drop away from him. He survived. Survived when there was no hope of another morning as glorious as this one. Survived when there was no one there to help him. Of course, Swamp Thing, of course. Up when there is a splash as a gator thrashes its tail, nosing out into the deep water. The vine-draped shadows beckon, the ancient trees whisper. Their leaves are a burnished crimson in the first shafts of dawn. Let's see what in the letters pages, folks. There's always one of the things I like to do. That was a great Alan Moore story, I thought, by the way. It was just obvious. I wouldn't even reading it if it wasn't. Just again, very simple story with very simple art by Rick Veitch. His pencils are okay, but I really, Al Williamson's one of my favorite. But Alan Moore can spin just a simple yarn. DC Comics presents is always a comic book about Superman teaming up with someone else. It was not always the easiest book, and they didn't always give it to the biggest time writers. So to take a story like that and do something offbeat, that was Moore's trademark when he would do something like that. It's not my favorite Superman story by him by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just a nice, simple, introverted story, and I like that I like that when Moore does that. And I always like to look at these back issues and see the letters page and see if there's ever anybody who went into comics after they wrote a letter as a fan, and there's one in this one. And Stephen Scott Bo Smith. Bo Smith became a writer for DC. And not too long after this, only a few years. And apparently, because he's an adult when he wrote this. A lot of times they're kids, when they write these letters and stuff. OT and Maple, I don't think, but no Kevin C. McConnell, but here you have Stephen Scott Bo Smith. But he was, of course, Bo Smith was he wrote a lot of stuff. He wrote Wild Dog from DC. He wrote Guy Gardner Warrior and a few other things for DC. Son Lee says, the first letter swimsuit issue of Sports Illustrated. What about it? Did you write one on that? Ravenscroft said, it's so sad to realize that at one time this great writer loved the same characters we love. What a loss. Agreed. It was that Alan Moore. I miss that Alan Moore. He loves superheroes. And even though he deconstructed him, but he also wrote some pretty loving stories with them as well. Anyway, so yeah, it was kind of funny. Bo Smith wrote a story in this comic. It wasn't too many years later that he even said something about, what was it? He says, He said something about my wife thinks I'm losing my grip on reality, and my little boy thinks I'm those other clown. I'm losing myself. It's like, blah, blah, blah. He said something at the beginning of his thing. What the hell? He was saying it's driving him crazy and all that stuff. So the guy, the letters, whoever was handling the letters page said to him, who is it, by the way? LR? That's who LR is. But whoever's running the letters page said to him, Bo, according to what Kevin has to say on the subject, your letter pretty much qualifies you for a job at DC. We take you on since you are losing your grip and all, but that bladder condition could create a situation. Thank God. But anyway, and incidentally, and then a few years later, he ended up writing for them. Weird, wild stuff. Yep, Bo Smith. We had a letter put in there. Yes, he wrote Guy Gardner. He wrote Wild Dog and some other things. And he wrote a lot of his own comics like Winona Earp and stuff like that. So yeah, nice guy. I used to order stuff from eBay on his eBay account all the time because he used to sell his archives and stuff like that because he used to get comped archives all the time. He had tons of them. And I also used to order some comics from him that he did years and years ago. Cool dude. And I think I have some mutual friends of his. So he was a nice fellow. He is a nice fellow, Bo Smith. There you go. Apparently he loves comics, obviously, because he wrote them and he loves superhero stuff. So that's some couple Superman comics reviews there. Hope you all enjoyed those as much as I did. I enjoyed them, reading them again. Well, I've read them a bunch, but I mean, yeah, I just thought that would be an off the wall one, that first one. But I mean, the Alan Moore one I was going to do eventually anyway. Because I've already Nat names we've done all. Now I've finally reviewed all of Alan Moore's Superman comics. One day I'll review some of his Supreme comics, which is his Superman comics with a different costume and name, of course. But I thought it'd be interesting to review that Elliot Magan story because it was so famous. Must there be a Superman? In fact, let me Google that real quick. I'm not gonna. I can't show the. I can't show the video probably. I don't know if I can show none. Must there be a Superman? Must there be a Superman? I wonder if I go to. If I put that on YouTube. Let's see. I'm gonna try something. See if they have that video of that up there. Bop, 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 bop. I'm not gonna show. I probably can't show the video. I might get in trouble. But bop, 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 bop. Mm-hmm. Oh well. I'll have to dig it up later. There were some articles written about it, and someone had it. There's a link somewhere to the article or to the news coverage of it, but I'll find it. Apollo meets Minion and Pupper. Hey there, hey there, hey there. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. It's getting cold up in here, I've noticed. Wow. I have to put something on. Yeah. So, anybody else have anything to talk about with regards to Superman or any other open talk comic stuff? Really? I mean, because it's Monday Night Marcy Comics Talk. It is Superman month, but I've covered a lot of Superman here tonight. So if you want to stray from that particular topic, if there's anything comic book related you would all like to talk to, feel free. Or talk about, feel free. Doesn't have to be soups. But if it is, cool. So, and until it isn't, I guess I'll think of some other. I'm trying to think of, all right, for the rest of the month for Superman stuff. Wednesday night, I don't know I don't know if I have a topic or what, but we'll get some soups in there. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about now. Damn, my memory's Poo. My poopy garbage memory sucks. Yeah. There's Carl. There we go. Last week was, of course, would have been like the 150th something or other birthday of my favorite all-time Superman artist, Kurt Swan. See, I got a note written to me right here, and I still missed this. I still almost forgot. Have you ever reviewed Action Comics #1 or Superman #1 on you? No, I haven't. That's a good idea. Gwag, I probably should do it. Good to see you, Gwag, by the way. Thanks for popping in. You snuck in on me there, brother. So, this is something I wanted to go to, and I can't believe I almost forgot about it. Damn it. Just some different stuff, nothing major, but Kurt Swan would have been 104 or something like that. He's my favorite Superman artist. I talked a lot about my favorite Superman art before, but here we got some cool stuff to show. 13 great characters Kurt Swan drew that weren't Superman. Because we connect them to Superman so much. So I haven't even seen this article yet. So, Superman, a birthday celebration. So I haven't even seen this article. It's from the other day, February 17th. Of course, there's World's Finest. Yes, Batgirl. There's some Batgirl for you. Hey, Oliver Belamonte, good to see you. He says former Superman actor Henry Cavill is in talks with Marvel on an undisclosed Marvel superhero character he might portray for a future MCU project. Wow. I would have had him play Wonder Man, but they've already cast him and they've swapped him, of course. Ravenscoft says, Club, if you are writing Avengers and you have 7 team members to choose, who are they? Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Let me start that one. I'll get to that one in just a second. I like that one, Ravenscroft. A lot of times, that's a great way to celebrate Superman's birthday this year. A review of Action Comics 1. Well, I'm going to do a birthday party, though, because we don't get on a normal one. Yeah. But I might review that still. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is, here's what's lined up. Wednesday, I'm not sure what I'm going to do this Wednesday yet. And then, of course, we have a normal Clubhouse Thursday. But then next week, there's still next Monday. Maybe next Monday night, I'll do that. I'll review Action Comics #1 and Superman #1. We might do that. I'll think about that. That's a good idea. That's not bad at all. And then on the next Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday, and a week from tonight, a week from this Wednesday, next week, I think my buddy Michael French at Retro Blasting is going to join me to talk some Superman movies and whatever. I think some Superman. We're going to talk about the Superman movies, Christopher Reeve, and maybe some other stuff. I'll hash it out with him. So a week from this Wednesday, that'll be Retro Blasting. Michael is also a big Superman fan. And then Thursday, which is the 29th of February, we will have, in addition to the standard 9 o'clock Central Clubhouse, which will just be a normal Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark, around 4 p.m. Central, I'm going to do my special, might be 5. I don't know. I'm doing 4. My special Superman birthday bash, because it's the 29th. It's the only chance I can think of really good time to do it. And I don't want to do it too early. I thought about 4 Central. I thought about 3 Central. But I don't know. Everybody's working. And however, like the old Global Geek game, but it's just a one-off anyway. So I may have to do it either 3 or 4 Central. I'm not sure yet. But it's the 29th. I don't want that day to go by, because usually when we don't have a 29th, which is like you only have a 29th like every 4 years, right? I just do it on some other day, the closest day to it. And, but we have a 29th, so I want to do it on the 29th this time. Because it's always Superman month on February. And it's Superman all year round. I love him, of course. So let's look at some of, but that's a good idea, Kal-El, by the way. And before we look at Well, let's look at some of Swan, and then I'm going to get. Well, Ravenscroft, I'll just answer that for you right now. If you're only giving me 7, right? Okay, I'm gonna be very standard here. Obviously my Avengers Dream Team. I liked Cap's Kooky Quartet, but I like mostly the original group. It's going to be Cap, Iron Man, Thor. You got to have your big hitters there. I'm going to go with Hawkeye. That's 4. I'm going to go with. This is going to be weird now. Well, I'm going to go with Wanda. I'm going to go with Vision and Scarlet Witch. That's 6. And for my number 7, man, the problem is I want 8. Can I have 8? Ray, would you let me have 8? You only 7, huh? Reason why I want 8 because I want Hank and Janet. Then I want Black Panther. Then I want I want more. Then I want Wonder Man. Then I want Beast. Oh boy, oh boy. So if I can't have Hank and Janet, then they're going to be out there. I'm going to have to pick somebody else. I'll put. Yeah, that's the thing, Gwag. I want Beast, but I can't. I only have one more. All right, let me start over. Cap, Iron Man, Thor. Actually, RR, thank you for the super chat, RRTNZ. I appreciate you so much. I did a lot of Superman 400 last year. If I'm remembering correctly, I reviewed a bunch of stuff from that. Either last year or something on Christmas. I'll go back and check and make sure. But yeah, Superman 400 has some interesting things in it. I've talked about it a number of times, but not that we shouldn't do it again sometime. So it's a good call. Let me start. All right, good. Okay, Cap, Iron Man, Thor. I mean, that's the equivalent of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the JLA, as far as I'm concerned. Then I'm gonna go Hank and Janet. That's just the Avengers to me. Then I'm gonna go Vision and Scarlet Witch. So there you go. There's my 7. Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hank and Janet, Vision, Scarlet Witch. Man, 7's not enough. You got to be ashamed of yourself. Ravenscroft, how dare you only give me 7? Oh, shit. But I appreciate that. That's a lot of fun, though. Okay, reserves. I got those 7 reserves. Hawkeye, Beast, Wonder Man. 3 reserves. There you go. I guess part of that is because when I first started reading Avengers in the mid 70s, that was kind of give or take. They had a lot of members, but was always my favorite, my standouts. But I also love Black Panther being a member of when Black Panther was in there. A few others as well. So I went with I went with 7, then I went with the 3 reservists. So there you go. Thank you, Ravenscroft. Though I love stuff like that. I'm a sucker for that kind of silliness. You know that. So those questions are fun. Keith Chow. Again, no time. So let's see here. Anyway, let's look at these Kurt Swan characters, not the non-Superman Kurt Swan drawings here. Yep, Batgirl. Interesting seeing him do Batgirl. Titano. Kurt Swan, Wonder Woman. BlackRock. He's weird. Maybe I shouldn't even say that on the air. There's Captain Thunder. Predating, and with Bob Oxner inks. Let's see who inked this one. Murphy Anderson. Tex Blaisdell. Stan K inks. Vince Coletta. George Klein. That's good. Vince Coletta. That looks like Frank Chiaramonte, Lois Lane. Klein. We just reviewed this comic tonight. Hey, J-Man, you out there? Holy shite. Oh, J-Man show tonight. No kidding. We just reviewed this one tonight. We're reviewing Legion of Superheroes. And this cover was Swan overpowered by Jack Abel. Gwag says, limiting the Avengers to 7 members is something that Guy Ritchie did. Yeah, well, he did cut him down considerably. Ravenscott says, I might put Thor. By the way, give me your 7. Anyone who wants to put their 7 Avengers, please feel free. I'd like to see which ones you guys pick. I might put Thor in reserves since he's so off and on anyway. But Cap, Iron Man, Wanda, Hank, Janet, Hawk, and Wendy, and Beast. That's 8. Okay, and then Thor is a reserve since he's come and go. I like that group there. I like it. A great group there, Ravenscroft. That's a lineup there. That's a roster, man. There's certain people I didn't like being in the Avengers. Matthew Pounder, he started with Boy Commandos. Who? Abel? I know Kirby created him, but anyway. Oh, man, I always love this cover. Anderson inks, of course. Swan. Oh, Swan. Well, Swan, yeah. I mean, I guess he did. He did start. I mean, I know he was that his first. Wow. Okay. Okie I have this comic. Stan K. Inks. One of my all-time favorite things ever is this comic book right here. One of the things I love the most in the world is this comic book right here. First appearance of Monel, Superboy number 89. It is my beloved possession of mine. I just adore it. I love Monel. I think even Cap preferred a lean and mean team. Yeah, but 7 or 8 just doesn't work. I think the Avengers, look, I'm not saying they have to be the Legion, but, I don't think it's bad for the Avengers to have 10. They should have a minimum, from me. Guy Ritchie can go screw himself. A minimum of 12 would be perfect. That way you can rotate people in and out. What I really hate is the early 2000s when they turned them into a freaking army. I don't think they had. I'm not sure if they put Guy Ritchie into the MCU. I think maybe they did, but I can't remember. I know they put him in the stupid X-Men movies. Did they put it? They may have put Guy Ritchie in there on S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. maybe or something. I'm not sure. I seem to think so, but I'm drawing a blank. Oh, yes. Lori Lamaris. Oh, my God. One of my favorite covers of all time. The Composite Superman. The origin of the Composite Superman. Is that not the coolest? I have the action figure, the DC Direct action figure of the Composite Superman. Is that not one of the coolest designs of them all? How do you not love the Composite Superman? Come on. Also, how do you not love
Superman. Superman.
the great Mark D, everybody? All kudos to the great Mark D with a C. Let's see here. Bop, 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 bop. Now some more Kurt Swan stuff. Let's see. Think. Where are you? Oh, here we go. Here's some more great Kurt Swan art. Pop. Let's do some more great Kurt Swan art. Oops. All right. Okay. Some more great Kurt Swan stuff. A follow up. Hey, Professor Arto, you back? Okay, there you go. He said, doesn't any. Let's see here. Guy Ritchie is copied by Mystique in the first X-Men. Yeah, Guy Ritchie was. That's right. He was in there. Magneto reveals to Senator Kelly. Yep, I remember him being in the X-Men one. Yeah. Wagner says, okay, a follow up question to the Avengers lineup. Who would you put in the Masters of Evil? Whoa. Exactly the way they are. But let's see here. I'll go back to that in a second. Doesn't any Avengers team have to have at least one dud like D-Man to keep things interesting? D-Man? D-Man. D-Man. Like is that like that what's that guy? You might be talking about a roster. Is that the guy? What's that guy's name? Damage or man, who I need more of the D-Man. I'm just being thicko, I guess. So Professor D-Man. Well, I'm sure you'll elaborate. Please do. Gwag, I guess I would want the Masters of Evil to be pretty much the way they are. I want D-Man. I'm trying to remember, when was that, in the 80s? I remember some dude with a D on his chest with a red and yellow costume. It had to be a time where I wasn't reading the book. I dumped the Avengers. I dropped them like a bad habit in the yeah, he looked like Wolverine. That idiot. Yeah, I wasn't reading. I've seen him. So I know nothing about him. I stopped buying the book in the early 80s because it got really shitty art. I think I dropped it after around 210, something like that, for the longest time. Okay, gotcha. Know nothing about him, but I have no use for him either, though. Masters of Evil is easy, really. I mean, you got to have Enchantress and Zemo, and Executioner and Crimson Dynamo, and just some of the others. You got to have a big group. So they did it very well in Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes, Quag. So here we go. We've got some Kurt Swan goodness here. Oops. Kurt Swan illustrations on children's books. Wow. I remember this panel. Artist storyteller Kurt Swan, as told to Carrie Bates. Plot: Elliot Magan copy and Julia Schwartz. So apparently, Kurt Swan inked himself on this one. Wow. Love it. So here we go with some of these kids' books. There's a pop-up book. Look at that. Who had this one? Look at that Kurt Swan Random House cover. Wow. Love it. Yeah, Demolition. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't reading Marvel. You remember, I dumped Marvel in the why would you remember? I probably never told you. I dumped Marvel like a cold potato in the for a gigantic chunk of the 80s. I just didn't like them. And I love their characters now, but so I'm not that nostalgic about that era. So there are all kinds of characters. I know what that guy looks like. I never read one comic with him. But the image is in my mind. But I couldn't tell you a thing about him, other than that the art really, for me, was crappy at that point. And I didn't like the roster a lot, man. The roster, good God, I would look at some of the Avengers. When I look at, still to this day, obviously, light years ahead of any of the bull crap that we have now. Don't get me wrong. But when I look at some of that 80s stuff, man, I just cringe my ass off of some of the art, even still, or like when it comes to Avengers, when some of the roster members, and again, people like to defend it by, oh, what about so much better than we have now? Yep, it's better than any of the garbage we got now. You won't get an argument out of me, but it doesn't excuse it either. Whoa, look at that. Pop-up book. Look at the pop-up book. Woo! I want that pop-up book. I don't think I ever had it. Look at that, man. No, I don't think I had that book. All these pictures from it. How to draw superheroes. Yes, sir. Kurt Swan, man. Everyone should take their cues from him drawing Superman, don't you think? I mean, there were a lot of books that people. Baron Zemo or Ultron Masters of Evil. I'd say Baron Zemo personally. I don't know. They're both. I mean, I kind of like the. Man, it's been so long since I've read any of those. Kurt Swan, baby. Showing you how it's done, man. Let's see. This is another one. Bop, 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 bop. Where are you? I had some other ones. Some more Kurt Swan stuff that I wanted to find for his birthday thingy. Sheet. Come on now. Where are you? Where did I leave you? I'll find it this way. Let's look. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Children's Illustrations. Where's Superman? Ah, yes. Covers. The Superman annuals. There's we go. All right. There we go. That's it. It's about Superman covers. Superman annuals covers, no less. There we are. What's that? Oh, there you go. Make sure that's right. There we go. Okay. So there's some Superman annual covers by Kurt Swan. Oh man. I think I had this one. God, I can't remember anymore. If I didn't, I had it at one point. Did Kurt Swan do any Marvel work at all? No, sir. Not for Marvel directly, anyway. You never know. You might find like a something floating around out there that he drew a commission or something with a Marvel character, because I think that happened, but no. He never worked directly for Marvel. Boy, it'd be weird to see him draw the Fantastic Four. He probably has drawn him like on a commission or something like that. Oh man, look at that cover right there. Good Lord. Look at that one. The goofy Superman. He almost looks like Alfred E. Newman. The future Superman, the masked Superman, the ugly Superman, the captive Superman, the Lion of Steel. I have one of those figures that they did. It was a Kurt Swan type Superman figure, and it came with all these different heads, including the ant head and the lion head. I still have all those heads, of course. Agreed, Gwag. What a missed opportunity. Avengers versus Masters of Evil movie. It could have been great during the peak of the MCU. Yes. Yes. I'd rather have seen that than Thanos, to be honest with you. Says Wagner, Loki, and Thanos kind of are the only Avengers foes they got right. Totally screwed up Ultron. Yep. I mean, they really screwed. Even though I actually love the movie Age of Ultron, but I don't want. And again, multiple things can be true at the same time. I can love it and be angry with it in the sense that I hate that it was Tony Stark and Bruce Banner that made Ultron. It pisses me off bad. It needs to be Hank Pym. It upsets me. Every time I think about it, it pisses me off. When I went into it, it pissed me off. Again, I found the movie had a lot of cool stuff that I enjoyed in it, but that will always. And again, as much as I think Joss Whedon is a piece of garbage, I don't think it was his decision. This was Kevin Feige because he wanted to make everything in the MCU about Tony Stark. It was the start. It wasn't when it was still good. Don't get me wrong, it was still good. But when it was the MCU before it became the MCU, it was really the M Stark U. Everything was about Tony Stark. Everything, and because that was the first movie that that launched them. Even though first movie's really good and the second movie's garbage and the third movie's garbage, but he's great in the other stuff he's in. He's great in all that. Yeah. So, yeah. Love that cover. Hercules and Samson. The first Supergirl. Look at that costume. I love that. I love this. This man. I adore it. The pinup. Back cover inks. Superman family, folks. That's what that is. The family. The fam, as I say. Yeah. Excuse me. Love it. So let's see. That's just that's my Superman family right there. That's my whole Superman childhood right there. I mean, that's just what they are, what he is. It was just so sad to see him desecrated in the 80s. Always loved this cover. Wow, somebody had this one signed by Kurt Swan. Are you kidding me? It looks like it. Whoa, look, it's got. I think that might be really a signature. Someone probably got that signed at a con. Holy crap! Swan again. That's one of my biggest regrets that I never got. I mean, I met some of my favorite creators, but I never got to meet Kurt Swan, and that really, that just bothers me. That's always been a shame. So I envy this person if that's true. That Kurt Swan. That might be his autograph. It's weird, but I don't know. Could be. $80-page giant Superman number 207, 30th anniversary. Unhappy birthday from your worst enemies, Mr. Mixius Pitalik, Luther, and Brainiac. Yes, boy, that your enemies show up. Happy birthday from your best pals, pals and gals, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Supergirl. But no, the villains had to show up to have their say. Look at that, 1938 to 1968 classic tales featuring Superman's friends and foes. How about that? I hated how he went from Iron Man to Nanobot Man. Yeah, I understand. Ravenscroft, Clobberin hated the Hulk and Widow romance, hated what they did with Pietro, and absolutely hated the Vision origin. Lifted me on there. Come on. I hear you. Yeah, I did meet Kirby twice. Larry, and that's That's the greatest. And I met some of my other favorites, but man, I would love to have met Swan. I guess I'm selfish that way or greedy that way. But Ravenscroft, I didn't mind. I guess here's where we differ a little. I didn't mind the widow Hulk thing too much. Didn't bother me. But I understand where you're coming from. I can't blame you, I guess. But I thought it was fun. I think I like the idea because they are so different that it was weird, sort of mixing. It kind of works sometimes when people are from very, very different worlds. It's different. It's interesting, but it didn't go anywhere now, did it? So yeah, but I hear you. With what they did with Pietro by killing him, I hated him because actually I hate Quicksilver. Hate Quicksilver. And yet I kind of started to like the kid in the movie, then they kill him. And the whacked out Vision origin aside, I still loved seeing the Vision. So in other words, I'm not arguing with you about that. Lifting the hammer was just because he's so innocent. They didn't have any, I don't know. He couldn't be judged or anything, and he had the soul gem. All right, Ravenscroft, have a good one. You take care, my friend. But I am sympathetic to what you're saying. I do understand you for sure. This issue's all-star lineup. Yeah, there you go. Greatness. More Murphy Anderson, Swanderson greatness right there. Kid Eternity, Airwave, Super Chief. The Atom and Hawkman. Oh my God. We just reviewed one from this one tonight as well. Crazy talk. I don't know. So there you go. Superboy 80-page giant. Neil Adams inking Kurt Swan. That's extraordinary right there, in my opinion. So there you go. What else we got? Kurt Swan that he didn't draw that for 1,000. This comic came out way after he died. So I don't know what that's bullshit right there. Bullshit. Let's see. One more for the Kurt Swan birthday celebration, even though it was from last year. All right. The Detective Comics cover with Stan K. inks. Well, it doesn't even look Swanish to me. I question that's Swan. I guess I question that that's Swan too. I question that that's Swan. Wait a minute. A Kurt Swan birthday celebration. With stars. Kurt Swan did a brief step. Yeah, Batman. Some of those Batman covers. They are, but man, they don't look Swanny to me. That does, though, sort of. Okay, RRT and Z, thank you for being here, my friend. Wagner says, the only time I really liked Quicksilver was in the Peter David X Factor run. You're not the first person I've heard that from, sir. Not the first at all. So I hear you, buddy. Wow, seeing Swan do Batman covers is crazy. Wowzer. That one, definitely Swanee. That's total Swan right there. Batman and Superman changing attire. We're all washed up. Superman, all I have left is this broken down Batmobile. We can't get the tire. The girls are laughing at us. Oh my God. Fuck you, Rick Barman. Yeah, there you go. Wowzer. Jim Aparo, Kurt Swan, Jim Aparo, and the oddball oddities of the Bronze Age. Wowzer. What the hell? Look at that. Yeah, that's odd. Okay. Well. There we go. So there we go. If anyone else has anything they'd like to talk about, I'm pretty much got the 2 hours out of the way there. And it's kind of late, probably for some of you, and so it's no biggie. But if you have anything you want to ask now, like a last call for that, and if not, well, we'll be on our merry way. But which is cool because I really appreciate y'all being here tonight. It's fantastic. It's great, great crowd, and just it was cool hanging out with you on a Monday night. Monday nights, just getting started there. So, but if anyone has any other questions, it doesn't have to be Superman related, like I said before. So, it can be comics if you just got a weird question, or as long as it's comics related, because this is Monday Night Marks and Comics Talk, of course. So, we do like to stay comics compliant for that, at least, of course. Oh, man. What is that? I keep getting. Always, man, I love this this site. A friend of mine always sends me cool stuff from that site that they're just showing you. So, see what he sent me here. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay. I'm sorry. I was looking for. All right. Checking. I'm just looking for something else to show you guys, but I couldn't find it. So, Oliver Melamonte says, Claudia, does actor Javier Bardem qualify to play F4's villain Galactus? Hey, Talkie Toaster. It's not. I love it. It's not exactly a comic question, but go ahead and ask your question about toast. So, would anyone like any toast? As a matter of fact, I would like some toast, Talkie Toaster. What you gonna do? Make me some? Are you gonna make me some toast? Because I want some toast. Actually, I want some flapjacks. And I want some pancakes. No, I want waffles. Oh, so you're a waffle man. Yes, I do want me some. Boy, I would love me some waffles right now. Son Lee says, dude, I'd love some toast. See, we all want some toast, man. We're not giving you the Lister treatment here, buddy. I would love some toast. Clubby does that. But yes, Oliver, I think, yeah, he probably does. I think, yeah, flapjacks for sure, Larry. There you go. All right. I think, I don't know. I've only seen him in a couple of films, Oliver. So I got to admit, I'm certainly no expert on the gentleman's abilities, but he's a good actor. Everyone knows he's a quality and a very well respected actor, very good actor. So sure, I mean Galactus. Well, Galactus. I mean, unless they're delving into his weird backstory, which they shouldn't. So you're a waffle man, Professor R2. They shouldn't really be screwing around with his origin much. So that means Galactus is just going to be CG'd. Hopefully he's not a freaking cloud, and if he has dialogue, and if he's even in the movie, they could just get any kind of voice actor. Get Frank Welker for all we care. But I don't know how much of an actor being present playing the part is going to be required since he's such a giant and all that stuff. I mean, they can do it though. It's not the same like even as Thanos, who's a big guy, but they got a guy playing him, but he's still it's all CG and all that shit. It's going to be pure CG, but then again, so was Thanos, really, even though you had Josh Brolin playing him. So, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. He might even be able to play Doom. I don't know what kind of accents he can do. I just know he's a very talented actor. So, I can see it. Anyone in it is a big improvement over the Cloud in Rise of Silver Surfer, says Gwag. Oh yeah. The Cloud's stupid. The Cloud is so freaking stupid. It was stupid as Parallax and as stupid as that. Peter Dinklage is Galactus. Well, he played a giant. He played a giant in Infinity War. So maybe that's who they want Henry Cavill to play, Galactus or Doom. You know what? Think about it. Cavill as Doom could work. He's got the accent down. He's a big, good looking guy and stuff. You could use the real Kirby origin of him and have him be like this man who's like got these classic looks that he's so over the top in love with himself over, and he's got the little bitty scar. Cavill would probably be perfect as Doctor Doom. What a great role for him. But the movie's going to be garbage anyway, so why put him in a garbage movie? But just saying, in an ideal situation, I could see Cavill should play Doctor Doom. That's my pick for Doctor Doom. Because again, Doctor Doom should be a big guy, first of all, big tall guy. He should be classic, the classic, like really, good looks that Victor Von Doom would have, because he's such an egotist and he's such a perfectionist, and yet he's got the scar that scars him. And of course, he should be I think he's got more acting range than people give him credit for, and he's got the accent. I think he could do the accent. I think Cavill would be great as Doctor Doom. I really do. Could be wrong. As long as it's not as bad as what they tried to pass off a CGI in the Flash movie, I'll give it a chance, says Steven. Yeah. I mean, boy, that was horrible. But they need to save Galactus for the third movie. I absolutely agree with that, Gwag. If I'm calling the shots, they certainly will. The best appearance of Galactus in a movie was in Transformers: The Motion Picture, 1984. Says Son Lee. Oh man. They won't use Doom because they only do world-destroying universal threats now. It does seem like that. Yeah. Again, the way you format an FF movie, if you're going to do it right, in my humble opinion, which is never humble, granted. Sorry, I was handling something. The only way to do FF properly is your first film should be episodic in the sense you start out, and I'm not always the biggest when it comes to origin films, but since their origin has been botched so many times, you're going to have to come out and straighten out the origin. You don't have to waste a whole movie on it, but you can need a good half hour to 40 some odd minutes. You tell your origin, then you go straight into them establishing themselves early on in their career. And the first thing you do is you do the Mole Man storyline from Fantastic Four, number flipping 1. Okay. And you deal with that and make that the biggest chunk of your movie. Then you can tack on. That should be almost the first half of your film. It can be a little bit of a longer film if you do it right. In the second half of your film, you can mention that I want you compress time. You show a few different things happening that very quickly. That, for example, them meeting Skrulls, you could just cover that very shortly. Them getting their costumes put together, them having a few things happen, and then go straight into the Submariner, and you totally ignore that piece of shit so-called excuse for the Submariner, Namor in Wakanda Forever, and you do the Submariner right. You resurrect him like in Fantastic Four, number 4. You have a big epic battle with him trying to take over the service, and that movie ends with a very ending. You tease you introduce Doctor Doom at the end, because as we all know, it was Fantastic Four number 5 where Doctor Doom first appears. And then that's your next movie. You start off with Doctor Doom. And as we all know, right after that, Doctor Doom, when he got started, eventually he teams up with the Submariner. You go from there. I'm not saying you have to adapt everything, but you got a great blueprint and a great start. You could do, obviously you can take some artistic license with some of it, but the blueprint is there. the blueprint is there. Wag says, let's see, first, Prof says, let's start with where I'm at. Where I'm at. Okay. They won't use it. Okay, I see what you're saying. Let's see. Start. They'll go with Galactus right out of the gate. Probably, they don't think they should, though. First movie, Origin of Mole Man, agreed, Gwag. Okay, well, you obviously agree. They should take all of the superhero movies back to street level and stop with trying to raise the stakes movie after. Yep, yes. I agree with that. Larry David is Willie Lumpkin. Good one, Matthew. Gwag says, Mole Man and his giant monsters would be great with the current popularity of Godzilla in mind. Yeah, absolutely, dude. So much, man. It'd be so cool. A proper Jack Kirby expert says, Larry, should be in the writer's room, SFX on set, everywhere in production. Clobby would be the correct person for that job. Thank you. They wouldn't listen to me, but I would try. And, I would certainly try for everyone. No more. Yeah. Ugh. Oliver says, Clobby, many 90s X-Men cartoon fans are complaining about the character design on Morph, aka Changeling and X-Men Rogue for X-Men 97 animated series coming out on Disney Plus. Yes, indeed. I'm aware of that. And I don't blame him one bit, Oliver. I don't know where you stand on the matter, but I don't blame those who are fans of the show, as I've talked about here before. I'm not the biggest X-Men fanatic or anything. I like them fine. I'm an FF guy. What can I tell you? Oh yeah, I'll play the Watcher exactly. So that's a good one, Gwag. So, but I like them. I'm a fan of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not the biggest. They're not my favorite. But they are the favorite of a lot of people. They're huge, and a lot of people, especially ones that are a bit younger, a couple generations, but a generation maybe a little younger than mine, grew up loving that 90s X-Men cartoon. I remember I was in my 30s when that thing started, so roughly there. So I was always going on Saturday mornings, whatever. I watched it when I could. I liked it fine sometimes. I would watch it in the afternoons. When I could, I would I didn't like the way it adapted some things. I was kind of up and down on it, but I love that theme music and thought it was cool, and I knew it was really popular, and it's got good stuff in there. Lemon pie, hey. But then, I've said this recently a lot, a year or two ago or something like that, a year, whatever, I binged it, all of it, because I never really sat through and watched them all the way through. So I did that. And I have a lot of criticisms of it. Of course, I hate the roster pretty much. The early, there are things I wish they'd done differently here and there with their adaptations and with the roster. And I think the last season was really cut rate. They looked like they went to a cheap animation company. I'm not saying they did, but it looked terrible. Blunt Punk Reviews, hey there. And eventually, it kind of tapered out. But it was fun watching it. Actually, and I recommend they're shorter. There aren't as many episodes, but I thought Wolverine and the X-Men was excellent. I think that show was actually better in story and put together better as a story and a coherent story as the 97 or the 90s show, the Fox show. It's just that there was a lot more. There were 5 seasons of that where you only had 26 episodes of Wolverine and the X-Men. It would seem to take place in the same universe as the wonderful Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes show, but it got cut short. But I just went back and watched all of Wolverine and the X-Men again after I watched the Fox X-Men. And by the way, I thought I really enjoyed it. Thought it was really good. So, but on the Fox X-Men, they have some of the designs are suspect. The art looks like crap to me, the art design. And Morph looks like shite. And it looks like they're going to be doing a lot of it's going to be the X-Wokes. Yeah. Larry, it's a good question. My X-Men roster, obviously I love the original team, don't get me wrong. But as far as the, quote unquote, the all different, not the stupid miniseries, back when they used to call them the new X-Men. Remember when starting with Giant Size X-Men #1 and continuing to X-Men 94 and such. The Claremont Cockrum, Claremont Byrne, Austin run. Of that group, I'm one of the weirdos who's my favorite X-Men is Cyclops. I take a lot of crap over that, but I love Cyclops. Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Colossus, Storm, Phoenix. Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Storm, Phoenix, Beast. Even though at that time he was an Avenger, actually, but put him back in there. What the hell? Oh man, who should go in there? From that point, you could just put anyone. I don't really mind. I didn't really even sweat. Well, Banshee was in there for a while, but I didn't even really sweat. I didn't mind Miss Kitty Pryde that much. Lasher, hey there. Lasher says, Wolverine and the X-Men is very underrated. It's a shame they never finished it. Absolute shame. Really, I thought it was really good. So, did Xavier really die in the cartoon, or was he replaced by Changeling like in the comics? I think, didn't he just like die at the end? R2 says, no Dazzler. As an X-Man, no. I know she became one later. See, this is, again, one of the things about being old as a comics reader. I think I finally dropped the X-Men as a title after reading it for years, somewhere around the Paul Smith run. So somewhere around like in the 120s, 180s, 190s, somewhere up in there. In other words, mid-80s, in the mid-1980s, that kind of just fizzled out on me. I know Cockrum came back to the book for a while. There was Paul Smith. There was some other stuff. Punk Storm pissed me off. Brian Hepburn, what's up, buddy? Muhammad Saeed, member for 3 months, says, hey, Clobby, I liked Inhuman so far. FF. Oh, you read the Inhuman saga. That's right. Muhammad Saeed is doing a deep dive reading Kirby's run of Fantastic Four. And he's in the issue 40 somehow. He said earlier in J-Man stream, he said he just read issue 47, which, of course, issue 47 and part of 48 is the ending of the original Inhuman saga. Great stuff. Great stuff, buddy. Glad you're enjoying it. Steven says, I know you're not necessarily a gamer, but did you ever play the X-Men arcade game back in the early 90s? Oh, yes. And have you ever seen the video that my great friend Michael with Retro Blasting and I did about the Pride of the X-Men game? Let's see, there's a link to it in my chat, but let me go find it. Where is it? Here we go. Let's see. If you look at this link right here, folks, that I'm putting in the chat, this is a link to a video that I had the honor of participating in on my great friend Michael French's Retro Blasting channel a few years ago. I was honored to be there. Of course, he's a great friend, and this is an amazing video that he did. It's called X-Men Pride Before a Fall. It's a great video. It's a longer video. It's like 37 minutes long, but it's worth it. And he talks about, of course, the cartoon and the game. So, yeah. And I was, again, proud to be a part of that. Steve says, I've seen that video, but admittedly, it's been a while. I got you. But if you haven't, by the way, if you haven't been, any of you haven't been to the Retro Blasting channel, man, you got to go there and subscribe. It's one of the greatest channels on YouTube. And yes, I'm biased because he's one of my best friends, but I love his channel. It's a fantastic channel, and it is amazing if you love retro stuff from the 80s and even 90s. If you love, cartoons and toys, great toy reviews, retro, restorations, all that stuff. Subscribe to as well and go check out his amazing videos. And that's one that I was just so honored to participate in. Let's see. The Australian Outback era of X-Men was a strange time to be reading X-Men. Wow. I think I dumped it, but I don't think I read that one. I was once at Six Flags and we were trapped in the arcade during a heavy rainstorm. Me and Some friends played through all the X-Men on the 6-player cabinet. Good times. Wow, cool, Professor Ot. I did like that game. I did like that game. I know you're not necessarily a game. Oh, I already answered that one. Sorry. Brian says, Iceman from the original team, Nightcrawler, 70s. See, that was one of the things that aggravated me about the Fox show, the Fox cartoon, was the roster. Like I said, I mean, first of all, it's got Cyclops, even though I can't stand the costume he has in it. I hate his uniform or costume in that one with the exposed head crap. I just like the older one better. So assuming it's got him. It's got Beast, great. It's got Wolverine, fine. It's got Rogue, that's great. Storm, Jean Grey. They can't call her Jean Grey. Otherwise, that was all that's peachy. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with them but it's got two members I can't stand. I can't stand Jubilee, and I can't stand Gambit. I know we have Gambit fans out there. I'm sorry, I can't stand them because I would rather have in place of both of those, I would rather have Nightcrawler and Colossus. And then you could have the occasional like Kitty Pryde show up if you needed a character. But if you must have the young girl character, I understand they needed that. I'd rather Kitty Pryde than Jubilee. But at that time, I wasn't reading the book, so I didn't know who the hell Jubilee was. I was not reading X-Men anymore, and I didn't give a shit who she was. I wasn't the biggest Kitty Pryde fan, but I thought she was better than that. And then, I couldn't stand Gambit, another character that was after my time, so I didn't give a shit about him. So I would, but I love Nightcrawler and Colossus. That was such a great team, man. Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Wolverine, Storm, Jean, Banshee, even, when he was in there for a while. They were perfect. And at that time, Hank was in the Avengers, and I loved him in the Avengers. But I'm fine when he goes back to X-Men stuff. The only time that really sucked with Hank being in the X-Men is when that asshead, I don't know who it was. Was it Morrison? And quite one of those idiots, they decided to remember the Kitty Cat Beast. I freaking hate the Kitty Cat Beast. It was awful. Look. It's an absolute classic. Frequently the games. Yeah, I got you. That's what you're saying. I'd like to see Neil Adams' X-Men adapted. Yeah, those were great. Oh, man, those are beautiful. Stryker did some, too. But Neil Adams' X-Men issues, I've got all those. Well, I've got reprints of most of it anyway. Cyclops is my favorite X-Men. Oh, mine, too, Steven. Wolverine is a close second. There you go. Yeah. I love Cyclops. People don't like him for some reason. I don't know. Well, because he's written like such an a-hole sometimes. That's why, even though I loved the show Wolverine and the X-Men that came out right around the time that shitty movie Wolverine, X-Men Wolverine Origins came out. And it was so, I don't know. It was, how do I put it? Hey, Joe Dog, what's up, buddy? Been reading some Brother Voodoo. Oh, wow, that's obscure and cool because you like reading some old Bronze Age. I take it, the Bronze Age stuff. Cool. There weren't a lot of those, were there? But that's nice, man. I know you read some old Defenders and stuff too, so that's very cool. So, where were I? Forgot where the hell I was. God, it sucks getting old, man. It sucks getting friggin' old. But I love Cyclops. Oh yeah, Wolverine and the X-Men. Because that was his show. It was called Wolverine and the X-Men, which kind of sometimes I'm like, he's like good old Uncle Wolverine. Jesus Christ. But it was a pretty good show, I thought. But they wrote Cyclops like a jackass though. Yeah, he was written like a jerk. But he was supposed to be, I don't mind him being a jerk because he's kind of a jerk with his condition, but sometimes writers started deciding that they love Wolverine more so that Cyclops as a character would suffer. For me, Cyclops got a bad rep because of the Madeline Pryor stuff, says Wagner. Yes, caused him by doing the X Factor comic. Yeah, and I didn't like that X Factor book much. I know Walt Simonson, Love is Art and all that stuff, but I wasn't big on that X Factor book. I didn't like the costumes at all. Those are great games indeed, along with the classic team. Yeah, absolutely. Coolness. So, yeah. So basically, I think when I talked to Mark D about this, but he said he's going to watch. I think we might at least watch the first couple of ones of this new one, this X-Men 97, so we could talk about it. I mean, I think he talked about. I think I'll talk to him, see what he wants to do. I just like Jubilee and Gambit, but I think it's because it's a product of my time, says Lasher. I understand. Look, so much of comic book reading in particular is a product of a time and where you were in your life, because I would speculate, this is absolute speculation on my part, right? But I'd say 80 to 90 some odd percent of all people who read comics, they're regular, or at least at some point in their life, were regular comic book readers or collectors or what have you. Again, I have no way of tracking this but I've been following this kind of thing for 50 years or more. I believe most comic fans start when they're a kid. By no means all, because I've introduced people who are adults to comics who've asked, "What do you read comics for?" I never read them as a kid, and there've been many instances where people have been shown really great comics and they never really thought about reading comics, and they read them and they liked them and they became somewhat of a regular reader here and there. It happens. But as far as superheroes, I think in particular, superhero genre of comics, most people start as kids, very young. They probably, like me, watched cartoons as a kid, and in my case, watched Adam West or whatever. And then when they were able to get comic books, they went there and they read comics and all this other kind of stuff. And then if you bought them for a regular bit of time, or if you just watched the cartoon on the X-Men, whatever it was, it's a formative time in your life. That's going to be that's your era of that title. That's your era of this character. The characters that have lasted for 50 and 60 and 70 or 80 years even. Once you're, whatever time you were younger and formative reading those, that's your era. And someone else who was into it a little bit before you or a little bit after, that's going to be, so you're not going to match up the eras, if you see where I'm coming from. Steven says, at this point, Hollywood has done so much damage to our beloved properties. It'll take several reviews from trusted sources to convince me to watch anything new that's coming out. I don't blame you one bit, man. Hey, Alaric Harrelson, hey there. He said, my first comics were the Fantastic Four, reading off the spinner rack while eating peanuts in an RC Cola in the 60s. Wow. I'd had me an RC. I haven't had, of course, I guess they don't make do they make RC anymore? Yeah. Well, that's the way to do it. That's the way to start, buddy. And it's great to hear that. It's great to see you here, by the way. But I think that's, again, I know it's not just it's anecdotal, but I think most people started when they were kids. Joe Dog says, Storm should have been the leader in the new series called X-Men Woke 97, but bad news, it's going to be trash. I fear you're correct, sir. Oh, I have no illusions, no delusions either, no delusions. But I might watch it just to laugh at it and talk about it. Wag says, they do make RC Cola. I just saw some today. Oh, okay. So they do make it. I hadn't had any in a while. Steven says, exactly. Christopher Reeve will always be my Superman. Same here as far as movies are concerned. As I'm sure he is for many others. Superman, even Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, a better movie, Quest for Peace. A better movie doesn't change that for me. Indeed. But what might change it for you is this.
Superman. Superman.
All hail the great Mark D for that. Wow. So you saw some RC though. That's crazy. No RC cola in my part of the world. Maybe I can order it. There you go, Sonley. Yeah. What if it's as good? Rexall Drugstore was my comic book shop, says Larry. There you go. They make RC and Diet Right still, says Brian. Professor Archer says, my first comics were Marvel Star Wars comics. Okay. I was obsessed with Star Wars as a kid. Still have the first comic my dad bought me when I was homesick with the measles when I was 5. That's fantastic. Love hearing that stuff. I love hearing that kind of stuff. However, it was expensive. $20 for a case. What's that? Oh, wow. Dude, is that a case? Man, no. Good Lord. Choke. I remember the Diet Pepsi commercial song from the 80s. Yet. Oh, yeah? Well, I guess I would probably pick up an RC if I saw one somewhere. We might still have some down here, but I don't know. I'm obsessed with Cherry Coke. I got to cut that out. I got to start leaving that alone again. But still easy to find it where you are. Professor R2, good. There you go. Okay, well, I'm glad they still make it. I'm sure they don't make Jolt Cola anymore, but at least they still make Cherry Coke. And yeah, I still love me some Cherry Coke. We got to cut it out. Stop that. Stop eating that, drinking that crap, sir. Stop drinking that rot pass. What are you going to do? Oh, boy. Well, unless anybody's got any other orders of business, folks, if you want, we can still hang if we want to. I can hang. If you have any things to ask about or whatever, feel free to ask me. If it's as long as it's comic book related, it doesn't necessarily have to be Superman related. But since we've handled a lot of Superman stuff tonight, but yeah, Steven says, my favorite soda is Mountain Dew Baja Blast. So glad to see it available outside of Taco Bell. Oh, cool. Rest says, trying to quit sodas. I mostly quit the sodas myself, and then I've had a bad relapse lately. But I only like my other vice was Arizona tea, sweet tea. But lately I've been back to I backslid to the Cherry Coke, but I'm about to cut that out completely again. I got to go cold turkey. Cherry Coke was introduced 39 years ago today. Well, no, are you kidding me? Brian Hepburn, are you serious? That's it. I'm taking a sip right now. Everyone celebrating Cherry Coke. I've got some right here in my Legion of Superheroes tumbler with the Mike Grell cover. It's a big, wonderful wraparound cover from his old tabloid book. And wow. How could I not celebrate it, right? So I've just drinking a toast of Cherry Coke to Cherry Coke was introduced 39 years ago today. Well, that's some crazy information there, Brian Hepburn. But thank you. Yeah, sweet tea is ambrosia indeed, especially Arizona sweet tea. I love it. Thank you, Brian. You made me drink some more. Damn it. You enabled me like Mark does, enabler. Lasher says, I agree. I started when I was around 10. Unfortunately, because of life things, I lost my collection. Oh, man, that happens. It's happened to all of us probably somewhere or other, buddy. Getting back into it is hard because of the whole era thing. Yeah. I absolutely understand. Keep at it, though, Lasher. You'll get them back. Sodas were a treat like ice cream on special occasions, says Larry. Yeah, you want to drive up to Mount Pilot and get a bottle of pop? Joe Dog says, I'm excited to play RoboCop Rogue City now that I got a new TV. Oh, cool. There you go. Fanty says, Justify at Stark of Iron and Admiral Teague are streaming till almost 4 a.m. Eastern time. If people want to stop by, they'd appreciate it. Okay. Can you get a link by any chance, Fanty, and put it in there? I'll plug it. Alark says, I'm a root beer Dr. Pepper guy, then classic cola. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good stuff, man. Absolutely. It's just Arnold Palmer tea. Like that in there. I love Arizona. Golden Peak's okay. My favorite soda is Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream. I've not tried that. But Fanty, if you can get a link to Teague's stream, I would happily put that in. Plug that while we got a chance, while we have some time. Grape knee high. What are you, Radar? Favorite of Radar O'Reilly. Yeah, I like grape knee high. I haven't had that in decades. And you don't want it in a can. You got to get it in a bottle, of course. Go get a bottle of pop in Mount Pilot, or down at the station where Goober's working. I think they got bottles of pop down there. Y'all want to get a bottle of pop? Yeah, bottle of pop. Go buy some. You want to go down to the 7-Eleven and buy some some 25-cent comics, and get a Hostess fruit pie and a Slurpee cup with a superhero Slurpee cup with Coke icy, but mix the Coke with like strawberry or whatever, or cherry icy, whatever. That's what's good. That's the best thing to do. Yeah, my icy, I like the Coke icy, but sometimes I like to mix it with the strawberry one. If they had the strawberry or the cherry one, but hey. Oh man, the Dr. Pepper icy, boy, the root beer icy, boy, those were great too. Bloody hell. K. Robertson, Rob Altus, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Got a picture coming in. Man, I keep getting tagged like a mother. All this tagging going on. Gwag, Gwag, there you go. There's a picture, man. That's some RC. So, yeah, what's up, Rob, buddy? So there's a picture of some RC right there. I'm worse than Mark C right now, enabling drinks and stuff like it's eatery or something tonight. There you go. So you got RC, me and my RC with the Coke. There's my cherry Coke there. Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream. Dr. Pepper cream soda. How's the cream soda? Boy, I miss Bark's cream soda. Well, but they still have the red, but they don't have the Wowzer. So I plan to read. Okay, Muhammad says, I plan to read Fourth World Run and start reading Hulk. Wow. Dude, I love hearing about this, man. One of these days, you can give me a list of some of the ones you're reading and we'll talk about them, but I'm really love that you keep me up to speed on this. I love that you're reading those things, Muhammad Saeed. That's great stuff, buddy. And so I'm doing a similar thing. I've been jumping all over the place, reading different things. Obviously, we've got the Legion comics that we're reviewing on J-Man's channel on for 3 Mondays of the month. Then we got the Bob Haney thing on one Monday of the month, and then every Friday, J-Man and Sean and I are reviewing Frank Miller's run. But in my own time, I've been I just started kind of. What did I read? Of course, I read some of the Superman comics tonight because it was for review. But I've been kind of enjoying reading, believe it or not, Iron Fist. I've decided to go back and read some Iron Fists. I might go back and read some Master of Kung Fu. There's the problem. There's so much I want to go back and read. I don't know where to start. Some stuff I either haven't read it in like 30 or 40 years. And some of them I just didn't finish reading back when they first came out. Look, I've been reading comics for, oh boy, good Lord, well over 50 years. But there's still some that I either only picked up and bought for a while, didn't complete reading all of them. There's still plenty of them or if I read it so long ago, it may as well be brand new now since it's been so long. Joe Dog said, is J-Man going to do the Fantastic Four John Byrne run? Well, I don't know. I would have to ask him. We still have Bart's cream. Bark. Yeah, we have Bart's cream soda here, of course, and root beer in L.A. Yeah, Lower Alabama. I like that. Yeah, I live in L.A., Lower Alabama myself. Well, I live in Louisiana, so. But we have Bark's red. We have red cream soda, but then we used to be, and they even have like the French they have like vanilla cream soda, like with the gold stuff. But there used to be this yellow cream soda in down here that I used to love in the 80s. I think somebody decided it wasn't good for you or some kind of horse shite and stopped making it. Like that ever matters. The professor says the best mass market root beer is Spreckers. Can find it nationwide, but it's the best for. Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. Thanks for that, Gwag. By the way, the Galassi Master Kung Fu is what Shang-Chi movie should have been. Yes, but I also love Gene Day, man. Gwag, I'm totally with you. I love the Galassi run. Doug Minch, Paul Galassi run on Master of Kung Fu is terrific. But Gene Day was a great artist. I wasn't into the Mike Zeck stuff personally, and a lot of people, he's not a Mike Zeck guy. No offense, those who are, but the Gene Day didn't live long. I don't even know how many issues he did of it, but he was a great artist. Clobby, when you go to the movies, what's your favorite soft drink that goes along with a big bag of popcorn? For me, it's cherry Coke, buddy. You know those machines they have now that they put tons of different types of drinks, and you put your ice in there, and you can pick whatever kind of drink you want. They got all these variations. I don't know if you have those at your theater. I love those, but I always end up getting cherry Coke, a big ass thingy of it. Oliver, like I said, I'm a cherry Coke nut, man. What about you? I live in LA too, but not proudly. It's California, says Robert. Yeah, sorry about that, brother. I hear you, man. Come on down here. K-Rap says probably yellow dye number 2. Yeah, it was very yellow. It let your tongue yellow. Yeah. But then we would all get transfer, and we ate 8 times our body weight like a lamb. Yeah, it was fine. There was this 7-Up back maybe 20, 30 years ago, whatever, that was green 7-Up. And it wasn't like clear 7-Up. I forgot exactly what it was called. Boy, I was addicted to that stuff. And then it went away. Joe Dog said, I get cherry Coke when I go to Hardee's. There you go. Fanty is having a hard time copying link. They just enter star into the YouTube search front. Okay. I'll see if I can find the link. I got to find his page though. Is he streaming right now? Is Teague streaming at this moment, Fanty? Because I'm subscribed to him. If I could find him, I'll get a link for him. Where you at, Admiral? I see him all the time streaming. I lurk when I can. But Stark of Iron. It's on Stark of Iron's channel. Let me see. So 4 a.m. Okay. Yes, Joe Dog, it's Carlos of Juniors and other places, but we have Hardee's here. Although we don't have Hardee's here anymore. Okay. Clobberin Times, it's High Father and Dark Side. Whenever Orion is mentioned, is interesting. Yes, it is. When we reviewed J-Man and Sean and I, we had a blast reviewing the Fourth World stuff, so I think you'll enjoy it. Recently went to Arizona and they had an AW store. Enjoyed Rupert. Yeah, I've seen those AW stores. Yeah. Wag says, when you and J-Man are done Daredevil, you should start reviewing ROM. That's a big one there. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We have some ideas what we're gonna do next. I guess we're gonna have to sit down. All of us, 3 of us, gonna sit down and make a measured decision. We've talked about Iron Fist. We've talked about some other things. I don't know. I think. Well, I'll get with him and we'll see. We'll something we can get together on. So I don't know. I don't know yet, but let's see where Stark of Iron is, man. I don't. Oh, there he is. I think I found him. Yeah, they're okay. What is this? 12-hour super show. Okay. Well, they've got a few people. Well, there you go. I'm going to put the link in the chat here. And let's see. It's called Stark of Iron. Let me make sure I write that so everyone knows what it is. Because he's an awesome dude. Iron Super Show. Let's see. I think that's what it's called. It's time to pay up. Okay. Super Show. Because Fanty told me about it, so it's good enough for me. I'll just put the link in here, and everyone can decide what they want. But you guys, go tell them if you go over there, tell them Clobby sent you when you go over there. I'll be out of here in a second. We'll probably get out of here in a little bit anyway. But either way, if you go now or you go later, tell them Clobby sent you. He said, Stark is close to monetization, needs some more viewing hours and some more subs. Okay. I got you. Well, if you have not yet, please go, he's a friend of the channel, and please go subscribe to his channel. And go check him out. Tell him Clobby sent you. And but I'm gonna be here a little bit longer, but if you go now or you go later, please do that. I'll try to remember. I still don't know how to link this to another show. I'm gonna start making my way out of here in a minute. Thank you, Betsy Pounder. Appreciate that. Got a little sub there. Tasty Freeze. Oh my goodness. I remember that. Yeah. Man, this is like eatery with Mark D. No, without Mark D. He'll be disappointed that he didn't get to enable us with eating eatery and stuff. So all right. Well, I tell you what, my dear friends, this has been fantastic hanging out with you tonight. I've got some Supermaning in with some comic reviews. We talked soups and some other stuff. We talked comics, and that's what I love to do around here. You guys are the best, man. Just hanging out, geeking out with you is the best. I love it. I love it when we do it on Saturday nights with Raquel and all the wonderful friends there. I love it when I do it on Monday nights. Wednesday night, I'll be here doing the same thing. If there's not a topic, I'll just be hanging with you all. So let me do the shout outs now. Let's see. Tuesday and Thursday night, I will be on. I'll be on 6 p.m. Central on the great Tom Connors channel, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Good night, Oliver. Thank you. And then, of course, I've been invited, and I'm honored. I'll be honored to be on Toxic Tuesday tomorrow night with on the great Nick Weiser's channel. Our good buddy Nick and Mark D with a C, and a lot of other great people will be over there. It'll be, I think it's either 8:30 or I'm not exactly sure what time. Go to Nick Weiser's channel to find out. Atom Gray, hey there. And we're reviewing the movie tomorrow night on Toxic Tuesday that we're going to be talking about is 1980 Flash Gordon with Sam J. Jones. One of my favorites. Love it, love it. And I think I'll go watch it again, in fact. Again, for the 10 billionth time, just for the hell of it. And anyway, there's that. And then there's Wednesday night. Let's see. Where we at? Wild Card Wednesday night. It'll be some kind of topic. I might throw a topic out there at the last minute, or I might just talk basic soups. We shall see. Guagnar says, Flash Gordon, good timing considering what is coming up on Saturday night Star Trek. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Guag. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Muhammad Said and Clobby, J-Man have been reviewing the Legion, from the first appearance to the end of the Bronze Age. Yep, yes, that's right, yes. Mom says, yeah, we've been reviewing all of the Legion. There are places to start if you want to start. Starting at the beginning is different, can be weird for some. But Muhammad, if you want a starting point and you want me to give you a good starting point, let me know and I'll work one out for you. Or if you start, you can start at the beginning like we did, but you don't have to because it's so way back it's so not refined early on. But anyway, we're loving the Legion. J-Man and Sean, So J-Man had never read Legion before that, and he's loving it. He's a true fan now. So, and on that topic, how about covering Superman movie serial on Wednesday? That's interesting. I need to watch it again, Gwag. It's been so long. I don't think I would not feel right covering that again until I watch it again. If I'm able to watch it again though before, there's no way I can watch it again before Wednesday night with all the stuff I got to do. But Gwag, I do love the idea. I need to watch both of them. There are two of them. There's Adventures of Superman, then there's Atom Man versus Superman, which I bought. I bought my copies, my videos of that in 1988 at a con from Kirk Allen himself. And I still have my book that he autographed for me. I think I still have those tapes somewhere that I bought from him. Anyway, so then there's the Clubhouse Thursday night. I don't think there's going to be a Loki's roundtable this week, a comic book roundtable. But if he has one, I'll go. But I think he's not doing one this week. So there is the Clubhouse Thursday night, same clubbing time, of course. We'll have with Raquel and Mark, we'll have a Blake 7 review and other geek fun. And then, of course, Friday night, as always, on the great J-Man's channel, Fearless Fridays, continuing our ongoing mission of reviewing all of Frank Miller's classic run on The Man Without Fear, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 Central, of course. And then later from that, 8:30 Central on my great buddy 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser's channel. I'll be hanging out with Nick and the Friday Night Comic Shop boys talking comics. I don't know what, but we'll be talking some comics, and that's going to be a lot of fun as always. And then, of course, it's back here like we are every Saturday night for Saturday Night Star Trek with my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. And we will bring you 4 more scintillating episodes of Star Trek Voyage. 4 more episodes, that is, including Bride of Chaotica. There you go. That's going to be fun. What else? Oh, okay. So, and then, of course, hopefully Sunday night, as always, we will have the Geekery. The great Mark D with the C's Sunday Night Geekery. Will be a lot of fun. As always, we had a great fun time this past Sunday night, and we'll be doing it again, as always, hopefully always on Sundays. And so looking forward to that, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you never know, there could be some eatery involved. There often is. So, but for sure, it'll be the Geekery. And now let's see, shouting out tonight again, the great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher, Chris Bergia, Vindicated Wrencher, the Great White North, the Wrench of Iron, D. Bud Martin, Lord Soth, Avon Lift, long live the Legion, the Wrench Without Fear, J-Man, Maddie's Daddy, Stephen Cal-El, buddy. Always good to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here tonight. Fanty Outsidey. Fanty, thanks for being here, brother. Hungry Boy, Maximum Redstone, and hey, the Triple Bullwinkle, the great Larry. Thanks for being here tonight, brother. Appreciate you. Now, let me shout out all of you wonderful friends here in the chat, of course. Listen, did you get Kirk? Did I get what now? Did you get Kirk Allen to autograph your copy? Oh, yeah. And the book, he had a book about his life. I had to autograph that as well. I still have the book over here on the shelf. It's for the tapes. It's like all my other VHSs is buried somewhere. I probably still have it. It was 1988, but I would never sell it on purpose. I don't know what happened to it. It could be buried with a lot of my other VHS tapes. Let's see here. So again, Gwagnar, buddy. Thanks for being here. Mohammed Saeed, thank you, sir. Always a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much, my friend. Matthew Pounder. Oh, Matt, he said I missed Mark's awful comics. Well, he might have some awful comics for us later, or this week or next. We'll see. See, everyone, if you're out there, Mark D, people love your bad comics segment. They don't ever want you to stop buying the comics. That's terrible. Adam Gray. J-Dog. I'm going to skip Joe. J-Dog. I'm sorry. It's Joe Dog. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm Joe. I'm old, man. I'm senile. Joe Dog. Thank you. Oliver Belamonte. Thanks for being here, my friend. Rob Altus, buddy. Always good to see you. Son Lee. Lasher. Hope you and your wonderful girlfriend are doing well. Thank you for being here. K. Roberts. Professor R2. It was good hanging out with you on Mr. Brown's panel, and it's great having you here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Alec Harrison, good to see you. Brian Hepburn. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you, Kimasabi. Hang on, I'm getting all of them both as fast as I can. I got to get to them, of course. It takes a second to get to all of them up in here. Blunt Plunt Reviews. Lemon Pie. All right. Thank you for being here. Chalky Toaster. I would like some toast. Would you like some toast? I would love some toast. I want some waffles, actually. You're a waffle man. RRTNZ in Ravenscroft. My favorite R's in the world, those two. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate it. I think they already had to run, but still, thank them nonetheless. Anyone out there lurking, by the way, I'm derelict in my duties to mention it sometimes, and I'm really ashamed when I am. Thank you so much, lurkers. Really, really appreciate you. And also, thank you, anyone watching on a download or a rewatch. It is much, much appreciated. Anyone out there who has not, I would ask for if you would kindly, I would like for you to kindly subscribe if you would be so kind, but only if you would. If not, I understand. No biggie. Just that you're here. Apollo Minion and the Pupper. Good to see you, dear. And smash that like button if you would. I would appreciate that. Or actually, clobber it if you would. Even better. Pat ass buddy. The lovely Penny. Penny. Glad you were here, Penny. The great Ace Cast Iron. Two fantastic old-time friends were here tonight. The great Ace Cast Iron and the great 1701 Tex. You're my brothers. Key of the chow. Roll that tide. Captain Infinity, Section 31. Adrian James. Your Muslim uncle. All right. Stuart Mitchell. Jax Momo. Good to see you, dear. DJ Play Nice. Dave C. Claude Salling. Price of Reason. And Me and My Monkey. What a name. Love that name. Let's see. You think might have everybody. Oh, LDG Free the Net. Thank you for being here. FKHC 2005, aka Tim Hike. Thank you for being here. And I do believe that is everyone. And you're not fooling me. Jonah Hex, if you're out there, shouting you out, partner. If you're not, no biggie, but I know you hear a lot of times, and the last second you pop in there, you rascal, you. Love you, Jonah Hex, if you're there, bro. So anyway, love you all. Thank you all for being here with me tonight. I'll see you back here. I hope I see you at other places as well. Thank you, Muhammad. Appreciate you, man. Muhammad Saeed. But I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Son Lee, for those kind words. Thank you all for hanging out with me. You guys are the best. I really enjoy hanging out with you. What a great group. And if I don't see you in any of the other streams, I hope I see you back here Wednesday night, my friends. And yeah, so let me play us out with these important messages and credits. Thank you.
Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
Superman.
Groovy.
I just love clobbering time!